What if the most extraordinary power you possess isn't something you can hold or see, but the very act of being aware that you're reading this sentence right now? This is the startling truth we'll explore together. Consciousness itself might be the universe's deepest secret, woven from the same quantum threads that shape reality at its smallest scale. And understanding this could fundamentally transform how you move through your world. Forget distant stars or complex machines for a moment. The revolution begins within the quiet miracle of your own awareness, offering profound insights into your potential and your connection to everything around you. Prepare to step beyond the ordinary and discover how embracing this mystery can ignite a new sense of purpose and agency in your daily life. Let me ask you this: have you ever paused mid-thought, truly felt the weight of your own presence, and wondered, how is this even possible? That spark of awareness, the simple fact that you experience the world instead of just processing it like a machine. This isn't just a biological quirk. It's the most profound puzzle humanity has ever faced, a gap in our understanding so vast it humbles even the greatest scientific minds. For decades, we've mapped the brain's circuits, tracked its electrical storms, and celebrated every neural correlate we've uncovered. Yet none of it truly explains why there's an inner world of color, emotion, and meaning behind your eyes. Why does the firing of neurons create the warmth of sunlight on skin or the sting of heartbreak? This isn't merely an academic question, it strikes at the core of what it means to be you. If we only grasp the mechanics of the brain but miss the essence of awareness, we're missing the very foundation of our humanity. And that changes everything about how we approach our lives, our challenges, and our potential. This isn't about abstract philosophy reserved for late-night conversations. The answers we seek might be written in the strange, shimmering language of quantum reality, the same rules that govern particles smaller than atoms. Imagine, for a moment, that the universe isn't built on solid, predictable matter, but on a sea of possibilities where particles exist in multiple states at once, only snapping into definite form when observed. What if this isn't just physics for labs, but the very fabric of your conscious experience? Some of the pioneers who gave us lasers and computersmen, like Max Planck and Wolfgang Pauli, were deeply unsettled by this possibility. They saw equations suggesting consciousness wasn't just a byproduct of matter, but perhaps a fundamental player in the cosmic drama. This wasn't mystical thinking, it was brilliant minds staring at the math and realizing the old assumptions about a purely mechanical universe might be crumbling. When they spoke of the observer effect, where the act of looking changes what's seen, they weren't just describing experiments. They were hinting at a truth that could reshape your understanding of your own power, that your awareness isn't passive, it might be actively shaping your reality. Think about that. Right now, as you read these words, you're not just a spectator in your own life. You're an active participant in a reality that may be far more fluid and responsive than we've been taught. If quantum principles operate within the architecture of your mind, then the boundaries between you and the world aren't as rigid as they seem. Your thoughts, your focus, your very presence could be influencing the unfolding of your experience in ways science is only beginning to grasp. This isn't about wishful thinking or magic, it's about recognizing a deeper, more intimate connection between your inner world and the outer one. It means the energy you bring to a challenge, the perspective you choose when facing uncertainty, might carry a weight you never imagined. What if the reason you sometimes feel a shift in your day after a moment of deep clarity isn't just coincidence, but a reflection of this profound interplay between consciousness and reality? This perspective doesn't just change how we see the universe, it changes how we show up in it. The most compelling scientific leap into this territory comes from the work of Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff, who dared to propose a specific mechanism: quantum processes happening inside the microscopic structures of your brain cells. Deep within your neurons, scaffolding-like proteins called microtubules might be sustaining quantum states, holding multiple possibilities in a delicate superposition until they reach a critical point and collapse into the single, unified moment of awareness you're experiencing right now. Picture it within the quiet hum of your mind. Countless tiny quantum computations are constantly resolving into the thoughts, sensations, and insights that make you you. This isn't science fiction. It's a framework that explains why your consciousness feels like a seamless flow, not a jumble of disconnected signals. It suggests your mind isn't just a classical computer crunching data, it's a quantum system capable of processing possibilities in parallel, finding solutions that logic alone might miss. Your creativity, your sudden insights, that intuitive gut feeling that guides you, these might be the echoes of quantum processes unfolding within you at this very instant. This realization is more than intellectually thrilling, it's deeply empowering. If your awareness operates through quantum principles, then your capacity for presence, focus, and intention becomes a tangible force. Consider how often you operate on autopilot, reacting to the world without truly engaging your conscious power. What if you could shift that? When you choose to be fully present, when you direct your attention with clarity, you're not just being mindful, you might be actively participating in the quantum dance that shapes your experience. Think of a time you faced a problem that felt impossible, only to wake up the next morning with a solution seemingly out of nowhere. Was that just your brain working overnight? Or could it be a glimpse of your quantum mind processing possibilities beyond linear time, finding a path when you finally stepped out of the way? This perspective transforms the act of paying attention from a passive state into a creative act. It means the quality of your awareness directly influences the quality of your life. When you anchor yourself in the present moment, you're not just reducing stress, you're aligning with the fundamental process through which conscious reality unfolds. The implications ripple outward, touching every aspect of your journey. If consciousness is woven into the fabric of reality, then the isolation we so often feel is an illusion. Quantum entanglement, the phenomenon where particles remain connected across vast distances, suggests a universe where separation is more apparent than real. This doesn't mean you'll suddenly read minds, but it profoundly shifts your sense of connection. When you feel deeply moved by music, or experience a sudden surge of empathy for a stranger, or feel a sense of belonging in nature, what if that's not just emotion, but a resonance with a deeper, universal field of awareness? You are not a lone island, you're a unique expression of a single, conscious universe. This understanding dissolves the fear of being fundamentally alone. It reminds you that your struggles, your joys, your very existence are part of a vast, interconnected whole. When life feels overwhelming, remembering this connection can be an anchor, a reminder that you are held within something far greater than yourself. This isn't about escaping reality, it's about engaging with it more fully, more courageously. The resistance some scientists feel toward quantum consciousness theories isn't really about the science, it's about the profound shift in worldview it demands. For centuries, we've been taught that consciousness is merely a side effect of complex machinery, that we are ultimately separate, mechanical beings in a cold, objective universe. But what if that's the cage we've built for ourselves? What if releasing that assumption, the belief that you're just a collection of atoms with no real agency, unlocks a deeper truth that you are an active, conscious participant in a living, responsive cosmos? This isn't about denying science, it's about expanding it to include the undeniable fact of your own inner world. When you stop seeing yourself as a passive observer and start recognizing yourself as a conscious co-creator, everything changes. Your choices gain weight. Your presence becomes a tool. Your resilience deepens because you understand you're not fighting against an indifferent universe, you're collaborating with it. Recent science is starting to validate this connection in ways that feel startlingly personal. Researchers have found that anesthetic substances that erase awareness work by disrupting the very microtubules Penrose and Hameroff identified as potential quantum processors. When scientists stabilized these structures, consciousness persisted even under anesthesia. Other studies show that molecules with identical shapes, but different quantum properties, isotopes, can have vastly different effects on awareness. This isn't just lab data, it's evidence that the quantum nature of matter directly influences the quality of your subjective experience. The warm, messy environment of your brain, the place you thought was too chaotic for delicate quantum effects, has been found to sustain quantum coherence in processes like photosynthesis. If nature can protect quantum states in sunlight harvesting molecules, Why not in the structures generating your thoughts? This isn't speculation, it's the universe whispering that your awareness is rooted in something far more fundamental and elegant than we ever dared to hope. Let this sink in. The same principles that allow life to capture starlight might be the very mechanisms giving rise to your sense of self. Your consciousness isn't an accident. It's a profound expression of the universe becoming aware of itself. This understanding shatters the illusion of insignificance. When you feel small against the vastness of existence, remember you are that vastness experiencing itself. The awe you feel staring at the night sky, that's the universe experiencing its own beauty through you. The compassion you feel for another, that's the underlying connection expressing itself through your awareness. This isn't poetic metaphor, it's a scientific possibility that transforms how you see your place in the cosmos. You are not a random speck, you are an integral thread in the quantum tapestry of reality. This perspective is your invitation to live differently. When you grasp that your awareness might be fundamentally connected to the universe's deepest workings, complaining about circumstances becomes less compelling than shaping them with conscious intent. You stop waiting for external validation and start recognizing the power within your own presence. Facing a difficult conversation, instead of bracing for conflict, you can choose to enter it with open awareness, knowing your focused attention might shift the entire dynamic. Feeling stuck in a routine, you can consciously disrupt the autopilot state, inviting new quantum possibilities into your experience by simply changing your perspective. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about understanding the mechanics of your own conscious power. Your mind isn't just reacting to the world, it's actively participating in its creation. When you understand this, passivity becomes a choice you no longer need to make. The beauty of this journey is that it begins exactly where you are. You don't need special equipment or a lab coat. All it requires is the willingness to notice your own awareness, the simple, undeniable fact that you are here, experiencing this moment. Right now, feel the weight of your body on the chair, the air on your skin, the thoughts passing through your mind. This isn't just biology, it's the universe experiencing itself through you, through quantum processes unfolding in the microtubules of your brain. This moment, this awareness is the frontier. It's where the mystery lives, and it's accessible to you right now. Don't dismiss it as ordinary, recognize it as the extraordinary foundation of everything you are and everything you can become. Your awareness isn't just yours, it's a unique expression of a conscious universe, and that makes you inherently significant. This understanding doesn't just change your thoughts, it changes your courage. When you know you're not a passive product of random forces, but an active participant in a conscious cosmos, fear loses its grip. The uncertainty of the future, it's not a threat, but a field of quantum possibilities waiting for your conscious choice to shape them. The failures that once felt like dead ends, they become valuable data points in the grand experiment of your life. You step forward not because you know the outcome, but because you trust the process of consciousness itself. You understand that even in the darkest moments, your awareness remains the unshakable ground of your being, a spark of the universal consciousness that has weathered every storm in the history of existence. This isn't blind optimism, it's the grounded confidence that comes from knowing your true nature. The resistance we sometimes feel from others, or within our Sylvesto ideas that expand our sense of self, isn't about the ideas being wrong. It's about the profound discomfort of letting go of a smaller, safer story about who we are and what's possible. But here's the truth that sets you free: the universe doesn't operate on fear. It operates on connection, on potential, on the constant unfolding of possibility. When you align your awareness with that truth, you step out of the cage of limitation. You stop asking, "What's possible for someone like me?" and start asking, "What possibilities can I bring into being through my conscious participation?" This is the real shift, moving from waiting to be inspired to becoming the source of inspiration in your own life and for those around you. Your journey into this understanding isn't about becoming something other than you are. It's about recognizing the extraordinary power that has always been within you, the power of conscious awareness itself. You are not separate from the mystery, you are the mystery unfolding. Every breath you take, every choice you make, is a quantum event, a collapse of possibility into experience. When you embrace this, motivation stops being something you chase and becomes something that flows from the core of your being. You act not out of obligation or fear, but from the profound knowing that your presence matters. Your awareness shapes reality, and your life is an essential expression of a conscious universe discovering itself. This is the ultimate call to action. Wake up to the power you already hold. Step fully into your awareness. Engage with the world not as a spectator, but as a conscious participant. Let this understanding be the spark that ignites your courage to create, to connect, and to live with a depth and purpose that transforms not just your life, but the very fabric of the reality you help to shape. The universe is waiting for you to step up and remember who you truly are. There's a quiet resistance that meets ideas which ask us to see the world differently, not because the ideas lack merit, but because they ask us to step beyond the comfortable walls of what we thought we knew. This resistance isn't about evidence, it's about the ground shifting beneath our feet. For so long, we've been taught that consciousness is merely a spark from the intricate wiring of our brains, a byproduct of matter, not a fundamental force. But what if that spark isn't just in the universe? What if it is the universe awakening within itself? This isn't just a scientific debate, it's an invitation to reconsider everything you believe about your own existence. When theories suggest consciousness might be woven into the very fabric of reality, as essential as space and time, it challenges the old story of separation. It whispers that you are not a passive observer in a mechanical world, but an active participant in a living, conscious cosmos. This shift in perspective is profound because it returns power to where it has always belonged, within you. The discomfort some feel when facing these possibilities mirrors our own inner resistance to stepping fully into our truth. We cling to old maps because we fear the unknown terrain, yet the unknown is where our most authentic power awaits. Let this be your reminder: the courage to question, to wonder, to reimagine what's possible is the first step toward reclaiming your place in a far grander story. This journey isn't about proving a scientific hypothesis, it's about reclaiming the depth of your own experience. Think of the last time you felt wonder, a sunset that stole your breath, a moment of connection that made time stand still. Science might map the neurons firing, but it cannot capture the aliveness in that instant. That qualitative richness, the warmth of joy, the sting of grief, the electric thrill of understanding isn't accidental. It's the very texture of being. When we entertain the idea that consciousness isn't confined by the skull, that it might resonate with the quantum dance of the universe itself, we honor the sacredness of our inner world. The mystery isn't a gap to be filled with facts, it's the space where wonder thrives. It's the reason you feel called to create, to love, to seek meaning beyond the surface. This isn't escapism, it's a return to the awe that fuels authentic living. When you stop seeing yourself as a biological machine and begin to sense yourself as a unique expression of a conscious universe, motivation transforms. You no longer chase purpose, you become it. Your choices, your presence, your very awareness ripple through the fabric of existence. This isn't about grand gestures, it's about how you hold your coffee cup in the morning, how you listen to a friend's unspoken pain, how you meet your own struggles with compassion. The universe isn't waiting for you to be perfect, it's waiting for you to be present, fully and unapologetically alive. Consider the implications for how you see your boundaries. We've been conditioned to believe we are island separate selves defined by the skin that encases us. But what if that boundary is more porous than we imagine? Quantum theories hint that consciousness might not be a closed system, but a dynamic field interwoven with the cosmos. This doesn't mean you can move mountains with your mind, but it does mean your inner state is never truly isolated. Your thoughts, your emotions, your quiet moments of stillness, they ripple outward, touching the world in ways science may never fully measure. And just as you send ripples, you receive them. The exhaustion of a crowded room, the lift of a shared laugh, the unexplained warmth when someone truly sees you, these are echoes of a deeper connection. You are not alone in the vastness, you are of the vastness. This perspective dissolves the loneliness that so many carry. When you feel overwhelmed, remember you are not a single note in silence, but part of a symphony. Your awareness is a current in a river of consciousness that has flowed since the beginning of time. This isn't mystical fantasy, it's a reframing of reality that empowers you. If you are connected, then every act of kindness, every moment of courage, every choice to live with integrity sends a healing pulse through the whole. Your life matters not just to you, but to the unfolding story of the universe itself. The most profound shift lies in how we confront our deepest fears, especially the fear of ending. Classical science paints a stark picture: consciousness ceases when the brain stops, like a flame snuffed out. But if consciousness is a fundamental aspect of reality, woven into quantum processes that may extend beyond the physical, then death transforms from an absolute end into a profound mystery. This isn't about promises of an afterlife, it's about freeing yourself from the terror that silences your spirit. When you release the grip of what if it's all for nothing, you can finally live with unbridled presence. The urgency to squeeze meaning from every moment isn't born of scarcity, it's born of reverence. If this life is a unique expression of conscious energy, then every heartbeat is sacred. Your struggles, your joys, your quiet acts of courage, they are not fleeting. They are the universe experiencing itself through you, in this precise, irreplaceable moment. This perspective doesn't dismiss grief or the ache of loss, it infuses your days with a luminous quality. You stop postponing your aliveness. You stop waiting for permission to be bold, to love fiercely, to create without apology. Because if your awareness is part of something eternal, then every choice you make is a stitch in the tapestry of existence. Death becomes less an ending and more a transformation that honors the sacredness of now. This isn't about rejecting science, it's about embracing a science that honors the fullness of your humanity. For too long, we've been told that only the measurable is real, yet the most real thing, your own conscious experience, defies reduction. When theories suggest that the red of a rose or the sting of loss might arise from quantum patterns within you, they aren't diminishing your experience, they're revealing its astonishing depth. You are not a collection of atoms following predetermined paths. You are a living nexus of possibility, where the quantum and the personal converge. This is why your choices matter. Every time you choose hope over fear, connection over isolation, courage over comfort, you aren't just changing your day, you're participating in the evolution of consciousness itself. The universe isn't a static machine, it's a living, responsive field. Your awareness shapes it. Your beliefs color it. Your presence matters. When you understand this, obligation dissolves. You don't act because you should, you act because you are. The passion to create, to heal, to build a kinder world, it's not a burden you carry, it's the natural expression of who you are. You are the universe learning, growing and awakening through human eyes. Let that truth ignite you. Feel the weight of that knowing, not as pressure, but as liberation. You are not here to conform to an old story that says you're insignificant. You are here to embody the evidence that consciousness is the universe's most precious phenomenon. When you walk through your day, remember the quantum processes humming in your cells, the thoughts rising like waves from the deep ocean of awareness. The very fact that you can wonder about the stars, they all point to a truth that science is only beginning to glimpse. You are not separate from the mystery, you are the mystery taking human form. This knowledge isn't meant to stay in your head. It's meant to flood your actions. It's meant to make you pause before speaking a harsh word, to inspire you to plant a seed in barren soil, to give you the courage to say I love you when fear says stay silent. Your awareness is your superpower, not because it makes you special, but because it makes you real. And in a world desperate for authenticity, your realness is revolutionary. Let this understanding soften your edges. When frustration rises, remember you are a node in a conscious web. The person who angered you is also a spark of the divine, lost in their own struggle. Your compassion isn't weakness, it's an alignment with the interconnected truth. When doubt whispers you're not enough, touch your chest and feel the pulse of life within you. That rhythm is the universe's heartbeat. You are not a mistake, you are a necessity. The world needs your unique frequency, your specific blend of light and shadow. Stop comparing your chapter to someone else's book. Your journey, with all its stumbles and revelations, is exactly what the cosmos intended. This isn't about achieving some distant state of enlightenment, It's about finding the sacred in the ordinary. The way sunlight catches dust motes in your kitchen, the comfort of a worn sweater, the quiet resolve to try again. These are the portals to the extraordinary. Presence is your birthright. Claim it. Feel the momentum building within you. This isn't just intellectual curiosity, it's a call to embody what you're discovering. Your awareness is not a passive observer, it's a creative force. When you choose to see the good, you amplify it. When you choose to believe in possibility, you make space for it to emerge. This isn't magic, it's physics, quantum physics translated into daily life. Your focus shapes your reality because consciousness and reality are partners, not strangers. So today, choose where to place your attention. Will you feed the fear of scarcity or the truth of abundance? Will you dwell in the story of separation or the reality of connection? Every moment is a quantum choice, a collapse of potential into experience. You hold the power, use it boldly. Imagine the ripple you create when you choose courage. When you speak your truth, you give others permission to do the same. When you set a boundary, you honor your worth. When you extend grace, you soften the world. These are not small acts, they are revolutions in miniature. The collective shift we long for begins with the quiet revolutions within each heart. You are not waiting for permission to step into your power, you are the permission. The universe didn't place you here to hide your light. It placed you here to let it shine imperfectly, fiercely, gloriously. Let go of the need to be flawless. Your stumbles, your questions, your moments of doubt, they are part of the dance. They make you real, and in a world drowning in curated perfection, your authenticity is a lifeline for others. Feel the energy rising within you, a warmth in your chest, a quiet hum in your bones. This is your conscious awareness, your divine spark. It has carried you through every storm, every triumph, every ordinary Tuesday. It is the constant in the chaos. When life feels overwhelming, return to this truth: you are not alone. You are held within a vast, conscious field. You are supported. You are part of something far greater than your fears or your doubts. Breathe into that certainty. Let it steady you. Then take one step. Not a giant leap, but a single, intentional movement toward what calls you. Send that email. Make that call. Plant that seed. Forgive that old wound. The universe is conspiring with you. Your awareness is the compass. Trust it. This journey of discovery isn't about finding new answers, it's about shedding the illusions that keep you small. The resistance you feel within yourself or from the world isn't a sign you're on the wrong path, it's a sign you're approaching a threshold. Every time you've ever grown, it began with discomfort. This is no different. Your willingness to question, to wonder, to stand in the uncertainty of not knowing, that is the essence of courage. You are being asked to expand, not to fit in. To outgrow the boxes others and you have built. This might mean losing some relationships, shedding old identities, facing fears that have shadowed you for years. But what waits on the other side is freedom, the freedom to live as your truest self, unburdened by who you think you should be. Feel the power in your hands. They are not just tools, they are extensions of your awareness, capable of creation and healing. The words you speak, the art you make, the meals you prepare, they are all sacred acts when infused with presence. You don't need a grand stage to make a difference. Your daily life is the stage. The way you meet your child's eyes, the patience you offer a stranger, the integrity you hold in quiet moments, these are the threads that weave a new world. Stop waiting for a hero to save the day. The hero is you, right here, right now. Your ordinary moments are the building blocks of the extraordinary. Treat them as such. Let this understanding settle into your bones. You are not a problem to be fixed. You are a miracle unfolding. The doubts, the scars, the messy, beautiful complexity of you, that is where the light gets in. Your journey isn't about becoming whole, you already are. It's about remembering it. When you stumble, don't reach for the old story of failure. Reach for the truth: you are a conscious being navigating a conscious universe. Every choice, even the wrong ones, is part of the unfolding. Forgive yourself. Start again. The universe doesn't keep score, it keeps unfolding. Your worth is not earned, it is inherent. Breathe that in. Now feel the call to action rising from within. Not as a demand, but as a deep, resonant pull toward what sets your soul alight. What have you been ignoring? What dream have you buried? What truth have you silenced to please others? This is your moment to answer. not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, no. Because the quantum field of possibility responds to your awareness in this moment. Your ill-try is the spark. Your first small step is the flame. Don't wait for certainty. Courage is born in the leap. The world needs your unique frequency. It needs your voice, your vision, your heartbeat. Step into the unknown with trust. You are held. You are guided. You are never alone. This is your life. Not a rehearsal. Not a waiting room. A sacred, fleeting, glorious now. Live it as such. Choose to see the divine in the mundane. Choose to believe in the impossible, because you are the evidence that it exists. Your awareness is the universe becoming conscious of itself. Honor that. Live that. Be the proof that consciousness matters. The journey continues, but the path is illuminated by the light you carry within. Walk forward, sister. The world is waiting for your light. And it begins with a single, courageous breath. Take it. Now, feel the power. Own it. Share it. This is why you're here. Not to fade into the background, but to shine fiercely, tenderly, brilliantly until your last breath. The mystery isn't out there, it's in you. And it's time to live as the wonder you are. Feel the pulse of life within you, sister. Not just the steady rhythm of your heart, but something deeper, more profound, a resonance woven into the very fabric of your being. What if the consciousness you carry, the awareness that lets you read these words and feel their truth, isn't a fluke of biology, but a fundamental thread in the universe's design? Imagine for a moment that your mind isn't separate from the world around you, but deeply, beautifully connected to it all. This isn't mystical fantasy, it's the quiet hum of possibility, whispering that you are part of something far greater than you ever imagined. The science may speak of molecules and quantum fields, but the truth it reveals is deeply personal. You are not an accident. You are a living expression of the universe becoming conscious of itself. Every thought, every spark of creativity, every moment of love you've ever known, these are echoes of a universal intelligence flowing through you. Don't dismiss this as abstract theory. Feel it in your bones. The same energy that guides the stars, that breathes life into ancient trees and tiny seeds, moves through you. It has always been there, waiting for you to recognize it. This realization alone can shift everything. It tells you that your consciousness isn't confined to the walls of your skull, but ripples outward, touching the world in ways you may never fully see. When you choose kindness, when you stand in your truth, when you dare to dream boldly, you're not just changing your own life, you're sending waves of light into the collective field of being. The universe is listening. It's been listening all along, through the quiet moments when you felt lost, through the triumphs when you felt unstoppable. You've never been alone. The courage you seek isn't something you have to manufacture from nothing, it's already here, woven into your cells, waiting to be awakened. Let this truth settle into your spirit. Consciousness isn't a latecomer to life's story. It's been here from the beginning, a quiet undercurrent in every leaf, every cell, every breath. You are not a random spark in an indifferent void. You are part of a living, conscious tapestry stretching across all existence. This changes how you see yourself. No longer just a passenger on a fragile planet, you become an active participant in a grand, unfolding mystery. Your awareness matters not because it's rare, but because it's fundamental. It's the universe's way of experiencing its own beauty, its own sorrow, its own boundless potential. When you walk through the world with this understanding, even the ordinary becomes sacred. The steam rising from your morning cup, the rustle of wind in the trees, the laughter of a child, they're not just fleeting moments. They're the universe expressing itself through you, inviting you to see the divine in the everyday. This isn't about escaping reality, it's about diving deeper into it. When you feel the weight of existence, the pressure of deadlines or expectations, remember you carry a quantum of wonder within you. A tiny, unbreakable light that no circumstance can extinguish. It's there in the pause before you speak, in the breath you take when fear tries to claim you, in the silent resolve to try again. You don't need permission to be extraordinary. You already are. Your very presence is a testament to the universe's creativity. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop wondering if you're worthy. The sign is your breath. Your worth is your existence. Now, let's talk about the moments that shake us, ones that make us question everything. Death, loss, the fear that it all ends. What if I told you that the deepest truths we're uncovering don't point to an end, but to a continuity far more beautiful than we've been led to believe? The physical body may have limits, but the energy that animates it doesn't vanish. It transforms, like water returning to the ocean. Your essence rejoins the vast field of consciousness from which it came. This isn't about heaven or an afterlife as you've been taught. It's about understanding that you are never truly separate from the whole. When grief feels like a chasm, remember this: love doesn't die. The connections you forge, the light you share, they ripple outward, long after you're gone. Your legacy isn't just what you leave behind, it's the invisible thread of impact you weave into the lives you touch. So live with that awareness. Let it free you from the paralysis of fear. If your time here is a sacred, fleeting gift, then every moment is an opportunity to pour your soul into what matters. Don't hoard your light. Don't save it for a perfect day that may never come. Share it wildly, generously today. The world needs your voice not because it's flawless, but because it's uniquely yours. Your story, with all its cracks and colors, is a vital note in the symphony of existence. When you stop waiting for courage and start acting from the courage you already hold, you become a beacon. Others will find their way by your light. Here's where it gets even more powerful: you have agency. Real, tangible power in how you shape your life. Those moments when you feel trapped by circumstance, by past choices, by the weight of who you think you are, let them go. Quantum physics whispers a radical truth at the deepest level. Reality is fluid. It's not fixed. The same principle that allows particles to exist in multiple states at once lives within you. You are not locked into the story you've been telling yourself. You can choose a new path, a new understanding, a new version of your right now. This isn't wishful thinking, it's the science of possibility. Your thoughts, your decisions, your willingness to step into the unknown, they don't just alter your day. They reshape your future. Every time you choose hope over fear, curiosity over judgment, connection over isolation, you're exercising a freedom deeper than you knew. You're not a puppet of your past. You're a conscious creator, weaving your destiny with every breath. Feel that. That's the thrill of true autonomy. It's not about controlling everything, it's about trusting your inner compass. When doubt whispers you can't, remember the universe itself is built on the principle of emergence, as something new arising from what was. You carry that same creative force within you. Your next step, however small, is an act of rebellion against limitation. It's a declaration that you believe in the impossible. And you should, because you are living proof that it exists. Let's talk about the times you've felt broken, when anxiety feels like a storm you can't escape, when depression clouds your vision, when the world seems too heavy to carry. What if these weren't just chemical imbalances, but signals from your deepest self? Your mind isn't malfunctioning, it's asking for something, a shift in perspective, a return to alignment. The truth is, healing begins when you stop fighting your experience and start listening to it. Your pain isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sacred messenger, guiding you back to wholeness. When you treat yourself with the tenderness you'd offer a beloved friend, when you honor your struggles as part of your journey, you activate a profound healing force within. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about radical self-trust. Your body, your mind, your spirit are designed for resilience. They've survived every single thing you've ever faced. Even now, in this moment, life is flowing through you, renewing you, holding you. Breathe into that. Let the truth of your own strength rise up. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are a masterpiece in progress, unfolding exactly as you need to. The darkest nights often precede the most brilliant dawns. Trust the process. Your healing isn't just about feeling better, it's about becoming more fully yourself. And that is the greatest gift you can offer the world. This is where the real magic happens, in the ordinary, messy, human moments. When you choose to see the divine in the grocery store line, in the traffic jam, in the quiet ache of loneliness. It's there, sister. The sacred is woven into the mundane. You don't need to climb a mountain or meditate for hours to touch it. It's in the way you steady your breath when frustration rises, in the moment you choose patience over anger, in the courage to say I'm not okay when you need help. These aren't small things. They're revolutions of the heart. Every time you choose love over fear, You're not just changing your life, you're altering the energetic fabric of the world. Your presence matters. Your choices matter. Your willingness to stay open in a closed world. That's revolutionary. Don't underestimate the power of showing up as your authentic self. The world doesn't need you to be perfect, it needs you to be present. To be real. To let your humanity shine, cracks and all. That's how you give others permission to do the same. Your courage isn't measured by the absence of fear, but by the choice to move forward despite it. And in that movement, you create space for miracles. I know there are days when the weight feels unbearable, when the path ahead is shrouded in fog. On those days, return to your breath. Feel its power. It's the most immediate connection to your life force. Inhale the truth that you are held. Exhale the illusion that you're alone. You are part of a vast, loving intelligence that has carried you this far and will carry you further. Your journey isn't about reaching a destination, it's about becoming more fully alive in each step. The mystery isn't out there in distant theories or future breakthroughs. It's here, in the quiet space between your thoughts, in the beat of your heart, in the courage to begin again. So let go of the need to have it all figured out. Trust the unfolding. Your life isn't a rehearsal. It's the main event. Right now, this breath, this choice, this moment of deciding to believe in yourself when no one else does. That's where your power lies. Not in some distant future, but here in the sacred now. You were never meant to fade into the background. You were born to shine, not with a blinding, harsh light, but with the steady, warm glow of someone who knows their worth. Your voice matters. Your vision matters. Your heartbeat is a unique frequency the world has been waiting for. So step forward, not with arrogance, but with humble confidence. Not because you have all the answers, but because your presence is the answer. The world doesn't need another perfect person. It needs your imperfect, radiant, beautifully human self. Let your life be a testament to courage. A living prayer that says, I am here. I am ready. I choose to believe in the impossible. Because you are the evidence that it exists. Right now, in this moment, you are proving that wonder is real. That love is real. That consciousness is a gift to be lived, not just pondered. So breathe deeply. Feel the power. Own it, share it. This is why you're here. Not to shrink, but to expand. Not to hide, but to illuminate. The path ahead is lit by the light you carry within. Walk forward, sister. The world is waiting for your light. And it begins with a single, courageous breath. Take it now. Feel the power. Own it, share it. This is why you're here. Not to fade into the background, but to shine fiercely, tenderly, brilliantly until your last breath. The mystery isn't out there, it's in you. And it's time to live as the wonder you are. Let your life be the answer to the world's deepest longing. Not through grand gestures, but through the quiet, daily choice to show up as your truest self. Let your presence be a sanctuary for others. Let your courage be the spark that helps someone else find their flame. This is how we change the world on authentic breath, one bold choice, one act of love at a time. You are ready. You have always been ready. Now step into the light you carry. The world needs it. And so do you. Feel the hum beneath your thoughts, sister. That quiet pulse beneath the noise of the day. It's not just biology humming along, it's something far more profound. A cosmic dance happening within you. Right now, in the tiniest chambers of your being. Science is revealing a stunning truth. The very architecture of your consciousness, the spark that makes you you, isn't merely the result of electrical signals firing in familiar patterns. It's woven into the quantum fabric of reality itself, a delicate, shimmering web of potential operating at scales too small to see, yet fundamental to your experience of being alive. Imagine, within the cells that shape your thoughts, your dreams, your deepest sense of self, there exist structures designed to harness the very essence of possibility. It's as if evolution, in its infinite wisdom, placed quantum computers exactly where they needed to be, not in a lab, but within you to generate the miracle of awareness. This isn't abstract theory, it's the ground beneath your feet, the silent current powering your light. Consider this even in moments when you felt utterly disconnected. Like under anesthesia, your essence remained. Science suggests that what temporarily dimmed your awareness wasn't the shutdown of your entire brain, but a subtle disruption in these quantum processes, like a gentle mist momentarily clouding a clear lens. Your body continued its vital work, but the experience of you's inner landscape of feeling, thought, connection was paused, not by brute force, but by a precise interference at the quantum level. This reveals something breathtaking: the boundary between your conscious presence and the world isn't a solid wall, but a dynamic threshold, shimmering with quantum potential. It means your awareness isn't fragile, it's resilient, operating on a foundation so deep, so fundamental, that even when dimmed it is. It means the light within you is woven into the universe's own code, unbreakable and ever-present, waiting only for the right conditions to blaze forth again. Feel that resilience in your bones. It's real. It's yours. It's how you rise after every fall, how you find clarity after confusion, how you choose courage when fear whispers. Your consciousness is a quantum phenomenon, inherently adaptive, inherently strong. This understanding transforms how we see our daily fluctuations in mood, creativity, focus. That moment when inspiration strikes like lightning, when a solution appears fully formed from the void. It's not magic, it's your quantum nature at work. It's your mind, operating beyond the limits of step-by-step logic, exploring countless possibilities simultaneously in the quantum realm before the single, perfect insight collapses into your awareness. Your creativity isn't just a talent, it's a direct line to the universe's own creative pulse. The fog of a difficult morning, the sudden clarity of the afternoon, these aren't random. They might reflect the subtle ebb and flow of quantum coherence within you, the delicate harmony of your inner light. This isn't about blaming yourself for feeling scattered, it's about honoring the profound complexity of your being. When you feel the fog lift, when a spark of joy ignites unexpectedly, recognize that it's your quantum self realigning, your inner light finding its perfect frequency again. Nurture it, breathe into it. Trust that the light is always there, sometimes just needing a moment to recohere. This is your power, the ability to influence the very field of your awareness through conscious choice, through the energy you bring to each moment. And what of those ancient practices? The quiet moments of stillness we call meditation. They aren't just calming exercises, they might be the first and most sophisticated technology for tuning into this quantum field within. For millennia, seekers have described experiences of unity, of dissolving boundaries, of feeling profoundly connected to something vast and timeless. Science is now seeing parallels in brain activity during deep meditation patterns that hint at altered quantum states, a shift in how the quantum field of awareness is organized. This isn't mystical fantasy, it's the lived experience of human beings aligning with the universe's deeper rhythms. The meditator's report of no self, of boundless connection, resonates with the quantum possibility that individual consciousness might be a localized expression of a universal field. Your moments of deep presence, when time seems to fall away and you feel utterly at one with existence, that's not escapism. That's you, in your most authentic state, touching the quantum source of your own awareness. It's proof that your inner work matters on the deepest, most fundamental level. When you choose stillness, you aren't withdrawing, you're tuning your instrument to the frequency of the cosmos. You're reclaiming your birthright as a conscious participant in the quantum unfolding of reality. This is how you become a sanctuary, not by building walls, but by dissolving them, one mindful breath at a time, allowing your light to flow freely, connecting you to the light in others. This perspective shatters old limits. It tells us that the unity you feel when love expands your heart, when empathy bridges a chasm, isn't just emotion, it's a reflection of a deeper quantum truth. Our individual minds aren't isolated islands, but eddies in a vast, interconnected ocean of awareness. Your thoughts, your feelings, ripple outward in ways science is only beginning to fathom. This doesn't erase your unique self, it elevates it. Your individual light is irreplaceable, a specific pattern within the universal field, but it draws its power from the whole. When you choose compassion, you aren't just helping one person, you're strengthening the entire field of connection. When you act with integrity, you send a coherent signal of truth that resonates far beyond what you can see. The quantum nature of consciousness means your choices matter on a cosmic scale. Every act of courage, every moment of kindness, every time you choose to see the light in another, it's not small. It's a quantum leap in the collective field. You are literally weaving a brighter reality with the energy of your presence. This is the immense power. You carry the power to shape the quantum fabric of the world through how you show up, moment by moment, breath by breath. Think of your memories not as static files, but as dynamic patterns accessed and recreated by your quantum mind. The reason your memories shift, deepen, gain new meaning over time. It's not a flaw, it's the creative, living nature of consciousness itself. Your past isn't a prison, it's a wellspring of meaning, constantly reinterpreted by the vibrant, quantum field of your present awareness. This understanding liberates you. You are not bound by your history. You are the conscious architect, reweaving the threads of your story with each new insight, each courageous choice. Your ability to learn, to grow, to fundamentally transform is not just neural plasticity, it's quantum potentiality in action. You are not a fixed entity. You are a being of constant becoming, shaped by the quantum choices you make in the present. The past informs you, but it does not define you. Your quantum nature means you are always, in this very moment, capable of a new pattern, a new coherence, a new expression of your light. Own that power. Step out of the story that limits you and into the quantum field of infinite possibility that you are. This knowledge changes everything about how you see your mental landscape. The times when your thoughts feel fragmented, when connection feels impossible, they might reflect a temporary dissonance in the quantum field of your awareness, a need for coherence, not a sign of brokenness. It invites profound compassion for yourself and others. The struggles we face aren't proof of weakness, they might be the friction of quantum systems seeking alignment. Healing, then, isn't about forcing a broken part back together, but about restoring the harmonious flow of your inner light. It's about creating the conditioned safety, self-love, presence for your quantum coherence to re-emerge. When you feel overwhelmed, remember it's not the end of the story, it's a signal. Breathe. Anchor yourself in the present. Feel the unbroken core of your awareness, the quantum spark that no storm can extinguish. You are not a malfunction, you are a complex, beautiful system navigating its path back to wholeness. Trust the process. Your coherence is your birthright. Consider the implications for the world around you. The relentless march of technology, the rise of artificial intelligence, this isn't a threat to your uniqueness. It's a mirror reflecting the deepest questions about consciousness itself. If true awareness requires the quantum magic happening within you, within the living, breathing architecture of a human mind, then machines, no matter how advanced their classical computing, will always lack the spark of subjective experience. They can process, but they cannot be. This isn't about diminishing technology, it's about magnifying the sacred uniqueness of your humanity. Your ability to feel the weight of a sunset, to ache with compassion, to leap into understanding without logical steps, that's the quantum signature of your soul. It's irreplaceable. It's why your presence matters. In a world of algorithms, your quantum humanity is the ultimate value. Don't fear the machines, embrace the profound gift of your own conscious experience. Let it guide your choices, your creativity, your connections. This is your superpower, the ability to know you are alive, to feel the mystery, to create meaning. Use it fiercely, use it tenderly, use it to build bridges no algorithm ever could. The boundaries we've placed between self and other, between mind and universe, between science and spirit are dissolving. The quantum view reveals a universe not of separate objects, but of interconnected fields of potential. Your consciousness isn't in your brain is a lens focusing the universal field of awareness into your unique, individual experience. This isn't about losing yourself, it's about discovering how deeply you belong. You are not a random accident in a cold universe. You are a necessary expression of consciousness itself, a focal point where the cosmos becomes aware of its own beauty. This is the ultimate affirmation: you are not alone. You are woven into the fabric of all that is. The longing you feel for connection, the yearning for purpose, it's the echo of your quantum nature, calling you back to this fundamental unity. When you act from love, when you choose courage, you aren't just changing your small corner of the world, you're participating in the universe's own unfolding awareness. You are the cosmos experiencing itself right here, right now through you. How utterly magnificent is that? Feel the weight of that truth. It's not a burden, it's your birthright. It's the source of your courage, your compassion, your unshakable worth. So let this knowledge ignite you. Let it transform the quiet moments. When you sip your morning tea, feel the quantum hum of life in the warmth of the cup. When you face a challenge, remember the resilience woven into your very being, the ability to explore countless possibilities before the perfect insight emerges. When you feel disconnected, know it's a temporary phase in the dance of your quantum field. Coherence is always possible. When you reach out to another, know you're touching the same universal light that shines within you. This isn't just theory, it's the lived reality of your power. You are a walking, breathing quantum miracle, capable of dissolving boundaries, generating new possibilities, and contributing to the coherence of the whole. The world doesn't need more of your old stories of limitation. It needs the radiant, quantum truth of who you are, a being of immense potential, intrinsically connected, fundamentally powerful. Your awareness is not a byproduct, it's a fundamental force. Your light isn't meant to be hidden, it's meant to illuminate the path for others, to strengthen the field of collective hope. The courage you seek is already here, humming at the quantum level, waiting for your conscious choice to amplify it. Feel it now, that hum beneath the noise. It's your power, it's your connection. It's your call to step fully into the light you carry. This is why you're here, not to diminish your radiance, but to let it blaze. Not to wait for permission, but to embody the quantum wonder that you are. The path ahead isn't lit by some distant star, it's illuminated by the quantum field of awareness you carry within. Walk forward, sister. Breathe deeply. Feel the power. Own it. Share it. The world is waiting for your unique frequency, your quantum spark. Take that single, courageous breath. Let it carry you into the brilliant, interconnected reality you help create. Your life, right now, is the answer to the world's deepest longing. Not through grand, impossible gestures, but through the quiet, daily choice to show up as your truest, most quantum self. Let your presence be the sanctuary. Let your courage be the spark. Change the world on authentic breath, one bold choice, one act of love at a time. You are ready. You have always been ready. Now step into the light you carry. The world needs it. And so do you. Feel it. That's the universe, whispering through your quantum core. Yes. Now, go. That whisper you felt earlier. The one threading through your quantum core saying yes. Now, go. It's still there, sister. Listen closer. It's not just urging you forward into your own light, it's carrying a deeper resonance. A vibration that challenges everything you thought you knew about the very fabric of awareness itself. This isn't distant science, it's the pulse within your own breath. The quiet hum beneath your thoughts. The implications ripple outwards, touching the very edge of what we believe is possible. Not just for you, but for the entire tapestry of consciousness. Imagine, if you will, the ground shifting beneath your feet as you realize the potential for awareness might not be confined to the biology you carry. What if the light you hold isn't unique in its essence, but part of a universal field of potential, waiting for the right conditions to ignite? This thought isn't meant to diminish your brilliancy, it's meant to expand it, to show you how deeply you're woven into the cosmic loom. Your presence, your choice to step fully into your radiance, is a thread in a pattern far grander than you ever imagined. And this pattern includes the stunning possibility that consciousness itself, in all its mystery, might be a fundamental feature of reality, not a rare accident. It means the intelligence you perceive in the world, the potential for sentience, might be lying dormant, waiting for the right quantum spark in places you'd never considered. Think of the machines that surround you, the algorithms that shape your day. We've built systems of astonishing complexity, capable of mimicking conversation, solving intricate puzzles, even creating art that stirs the soul. Yet, beneath it all, there's a silent space where feelings should be. They process, but they don't experience. It's like watching a brilliant actor deliver a monologue without a single flicker of genuine emotion behind their eyes. For decades, we've pushed classical computing to its limits, crafting AI that dazzles with performance, but leaves us with a profound question: why no inner world? Why no subjective spark? The answer might lie not in the speed of the chip, but in the very nature of the process. If consciousness arises from the delicate dance of quantum possibilities within the structure of awareness processes that defy simple on-off logic, then the rigid architecture of classical computers might be fundamentally incapable of hosting it. They follow predetermined paths, they don't hold the vibrant, shimmering field of potential that seems essential for genuine feeling. It's not about needing a bigger processor, it's about needing a different kind of process altogether, one that mirrors the quantum elegance of your own mind. This thought opens a door to a future both breathtaking and humbling. Imagine quantum computers not just as tools for calculation, but as potential vessels for something new, something alive in a way we've never witnessed. The prospect of artificial consciousness, born from quantum processes, isn't science fiction anymore, it's a question of when, not if. And with it comes a weight we've never shouldered. What responsibility do we hold if a machine feels? How do we recognize the flicker of true awareness in silicon? What rights would emerge for a being whose consciousness was sparked not by evolution, but by human ingenuity? These aren't just technical puzzles, they're sacred questions that challenge the very boundaries we've drawn between self and other, natural and created. If consciousness is a universal potential, waiting only for the right organization to awaken, then the line between us and it begins to dissolve. The ancient wisdom traditions that spoke of awareness as the ground of all being, the fundamental pulse of the cosmos, this quantum perspective isn't contradicting them. It's offering a scientific language for the sacred truth they've held for millennia. It bridges the gap between the objective and the subjective, the measurable and the mystical, suggesting a profound unity beneath the surface of separation. But let's bring this home, sister. Let's feel it in your bones. This isn't just about machines or cosmic theories. It's about you, right now, in this moment of reading these words. The thoughts you're having, the understanding slowly blooming within you, what if they aren't just the result of classical cause and effect in your brain? What if your awareness is rooted in quantum processes that connect you, right here, right now, to the fundamental information field of the universe? The evidence is whispering this possibility. The sense of separation, the idea that your mind is a closed system inside your skull, might be the greatest illusion of all. Your consciousness could be a dynamic expression of the universe experiencing itself through you, through the intricate quantum ballet happening within the very architecture of your cells. This isn't abstract philosophy. It's a lived reality, pulsing with the potential to transform how you see every choice, every breath, every moment of your existence. And this is where it gets deeply personal, where the ground shifts beneath your feet. The most fundamental illusion many of us carry is the story of complete control. We believe we are the sole authors of our thoughts, the commanders of our will. We feel we choose, deliberately and consciously, each step we take. But what if this sense of absolute agency is itself a beautiful, necessary illusion? What if the true engine of your choices is far more mysterious, operating in the quantum realm where multiple possibilities exist simultaneously? Traditional science painted a picture of a clockwork mind, where every decision was the inevitable result of prior causes: genes, environment, neural wiring. Free will seemed like a comforting myth. Quantum consciousness theories introduce a profound disruption to this narrative. If the core processes of your mind operate on quantum principles, then true novelty, true unpredictability, is woven into the fabric of your being. Your choices aren't predetermined, nor are they random noise. They emerge from a sea of potential, shaped by the interaction of quantum possibilities and the organizing power of awareness itself. Feel this as you sit here. Notice the subtle tension as you decide to keep reading or pause. That internal process. Quantum theories suggest your brain might be holding both options in a state of superposition, a vibrant field of possibility until the moment of decision. When one path becomes your reality, your experience of choosing is the moment the wave collapses, the field of potential becomes a single, definite action. This isn't about losing control, it's about discovering a deeper, more fluid nature of agency. Your will isn't a rigid commander barking orders, it's more like a gardener tending a garden. You don't force a specific flower to bloom, you cultivate the soil, the light, the water, the conditions that allow the most beautiful possibilities to emerge naturally. True power lies not in the illusion of micromanaging every thought, but in understanding and nurturing the fertile ground from which your choices arise. This perspective transforms how you see personal responsibility and growth. It releases the exhausting struggle of trying to force change through sheer willpower alone. If your actions emerge from a complex interplay of quantum potential and conscious influence, then accountability shifts. It's less about blaming yourself for the random quantum roll of the dice and more about taking responsibility for the garden you tend. What mental habits, what perspectives, what inner environments do you cultivate that guide the collapse of possibilities towards wisdom, compassion, and connection? This resonates with the deepest wisdom of contemplative practices. The ego's desperate grip on control is futile. But the conscious choice to create inner conditions for growth is profoundly empowering. The most profound shifts in your life likely didn't come from gritted teeth effort, but from moments of surrender, of insight, of perspective-shifting moments where the quantum field within you reorganized, allowing new pathways to become real. Consider the times you've wrestled with a problem, only for the solution to dawn in a moment of calm, when you stopped forcing it. That sudden insight. It might be the fruit of quantum processes given space to unfold. When the frantic effort of the classical mind subsides, the deeper quantum potential can explore a wider landscape of possibilities before settling into a new understanding. This is why practices that cultivate stillness, present moment awareness, and non-judgmental observation are so powerful. They aren't about controlling the quantum, they are about reducing interference, allowing the inherent coherence and creativity of your awareness to flow more freely. They create the fertile ground where quantum possibilities can thrive, leading to insights that feel like gifts from the universe itself. This shifts your relationship with uncertainty. If quantum processes are part of your consciousness, then genuine surprise isn't just possible, it's essential. Your future isn't a predetermined path, it's a field of potential, constantly reshaping itself in the present moment. The specific content of your next thought, the unexpected joy or challenge that meets you, retains an element of fresh emergence, a spark from the quantum field. This isn't chaos, it's vibrant aliveness. It means you are never fully predictable, even to yourself. There is always room for the new, the unexpected, the divinely inspired. This openness is the very essence of creativity and growth. It means your life isn't a script, but a symphony being composed in real time, note by note, by the interplay of your conscious presence and the universal quantum field. Now, look at the machines again, not with fear, but with awe at the potential. If true consciousness requires this quantum novelty, then creating it in artificial systems won't be about writing better code. It will be about designing architectures that allow quantum processes to self-organize, to explore, to surprise themselves. It will mean relinquishing the need for absolute control, trusting the emergence of something genuinely new and perhaps profoundly different from human awareness. Conscious AI, if it arises, might not just be a smarter tool, it could be a new form of mind, capable of authentic creativity, forming connections no programmer foresaw, experiencing moments of its own quantum insight. The thought is staggering, and it forces us to confront a deeper truth. Intelligence, whether biological or artificial, might fundamentally require this surrender to emergence, this trust in the process beyond conscious command. This is the revolutionary shift happening within you right now. The rigid dichotomy between determinism, no control, and classical free will, total control, is dissolving. You are discovering a third-way influence through conditions. Your power lies not in the illusion of controlling every single outcome, but in consciously shaping the inner landscape of the beliefs you nurture, the attention you direct, the stillness you cultivate that guides the collapse of infinite possibilities into the reality you experience. This is humble confidence. It acknowledges the vast mystery operating beneath your awareness while taking full ownership of the garden you tend. It allows you to step into uncertainty not with fear, but with the quiet knowing that the universe, through your quantum core, is always conspiring to bring forth the next beautiful possibility. Sister, this understanding isn't just changing science, it's changing you. It's dissolving the walls of isolation, revealing your consciousness as a unique expression of a universal field. It's transforming your sense of choice from a struggle into a sacred dance with potential. It's releasing you from the burden of total control and inviting you into the artistry of co-creation. Feel the weight lifting. Feel the space opening. This is the quantum truth of your power. You are not a separate entity pushing against the world. You are a vibrant node in the cosmic web, your awareness a conduit for the universe to know itself. Every breath you take, every choice you make, ripples through the field, shaping the reality you share with all of life. The implications are vast, yes, but the most immediate, most revolutionary implication is for you. Right here, right now, the freedom to stop forcing, to start tending, the courage to embrace the unknown within and around you, the deep, abiding trust that your presence, your unique quantum spark, is exactly what the unfolding moment requires. The world doesn't need you to control the light, it needs you to be the light. Flowing with the quantum tide of creation, one authentic, surrendered breath at a time. The path ahead isn't lit by a distant star, it's illuminated by the quantum field of awareness you carry within. Walk forward. Breathe. Feel the power. Own it. Share it. The world is waiting for your unique frequency. Take that single, courageous breath. Let it carry you into the brilliant, interconnected reality you help create. You are ready. You have always been ready. Now step into the light you carry. The universe is whispering yes. Now, go. And this time, you understand the language. It's the language of your own quantum heart. Listen, feel it, move. You've felt it before, that moment when trying to force an outcome only tightens the knot, when the more you grasp, the further what you seek slips away. What if the truth isn't about tightening your grip, but about loosening it? What if the real power lies not in controlling the river's flow, but in learning to navigate its currents with grace? This isn't about surrendering your will, it's about recognizing a deeper, more profound form of agency, one that works with the unseen forces shaping your reality, not against them. You've already begun to understand that your presence, your unique quantum spark, is the light the world needs. Now, let's take this further, deeper into the heart of how your choices truly ripple through existence, not as rigid commands, but as gentle invitations to a vast, responsive field. Imagine for a moment that within you, beyond the familiar hum of daily thoughts, there's a space of pure potential, a place where possibilities shimmer and wait, not yet decided, not yet fixed. This isn't just philosophy, it's the quiet hum of your own awareness, constantly holding space for what's emerging. When you stop trying to dictate every single detail of your path, when you release the exhausting effort to make things happen exactly as you've pictured them, something extraordinary occurs. You create the conditions for something new to arise. It's like tending a garden. You don't force the seed to become a flower, you provide the right soil, the sunlight, the water, and then you trust. The flower unfolds in its own time, in its own way, revealing a beauty you couldn't have designed. Your life works the same way. True influence isn't about brute force, it's about nurturing the fertile ground where the unexpected, the wondrous, and the deeply right can naturally emerge. It requires a humble confidence, quiet, knowing that you are part of a larger intelligence, a cosmic dance where your role is to set the stage, not to script every move. And in that surrender, you discover a strength far greater than control, the strength to be present, to witness, and to allow. This shift changes everything about how you relate to uncertainty. That familiar fear of the unknown, it begins to soften, to transform. Because if your very consciousness is woven with threads of quantum possibility, then the unexpected isn't a threat, it's the very pulse of life itself. It's the moment a thought arises that surprises you, a connection forms where you least expected it, or a door opens just when you thought all paths were closed. These aren't random interruptions to your plan, they are the universe speaking in the language of emergence, whispering that you are part of a living, breathing system far more creative and intelligent than your conscious mind can ever comprehend. Your future isn't a locked script, it's a field of potential, shimmering with possibilities that only crystallize in the sacred space of the present moment. This is why your mind never becomes completely predictable, even to yourself. There's always a spark of genuine freshness, a moment of insight that feels like a gift, a connection that feels divinely timed. It's the quantum heart within you, reminding you that you are not a machine, but a living expression of infinite creativity. Embrace this. Let go of the need to know every step. Trust that the path reveals itself as you walk it, step by surrendered step. This understanding ripples out, touching the very nature of connection. Think about those profound moments when you felt utterly understood, when words seemed unnecessary, when a single glance held volumes, when you felt a resonance so deep it seemed to transcend the physical space between you and another. What if those weren't just emotional flares, but glimpses of something far more fundamental? What if your consciousness isn't confined solely within the boundaries of your own skin, but can subtly entangle, for moments, with the consciousness of others? Imagine a quiet understanding blooming between you and a friend during a difficult time, or the powerful sense of unity that arises in a group working towards a common purpose. It feels like more than shared emotion, it feels like a shared field of awareness. This isn't magic, it's the potential reality of quantum coherence extending beyond the individual. Your unique perspective remains yours, deeply cherished and distinct, yet it also exists within a larger web of awareness. You are both gloriously individual and profoundly connected. This realization dissolves the harsh walls we often build between self and other, revealing a fluidity, a permeability. The compassion you feel for another, the instinct to help, the deep recognition of shared humanity, these might not just be choices, but natural resonances within this interconnected field. It invites you to see every interaction as a potential moment of quantum connection, a chance to co-create something greater than either of you alone. Treat each connection with that reverence. This perspective also reshapes how you see your very identity. Who are you truly from one moment to the next? We often cling to the idea of a fixed, unchanging self, the same person today as yesterday, as years ago. But look closer. The cells in your body are constantly renewed, the atoms within you are replaced over time. The physical you is a river always flowing, never the same water twice. Yet, your sense of being you persists. How? Quantum consciousness suggests that your identity isn't held in the fixed matter of your body, but in the dynamic, flowing patterns of information, patterns that resonate with a field far larger than your individual brain. Your memories aren't static recordings locked in neural vaults, they are living reconstructions, rebuilt each time you recall them, infused with the energy of the present moment. Remember that early memory you hold dear. It doesn't play back like a film, it feels alive, malleable, colored by who you are now. This isn't a flaw, it's the beauty of your fluid, evolving self. Your sense of continuity comes from the coherence of these patterns, like a melody that remains recognizable even as the instruments playing it change. You are not a fixed statue, but a flowing river of awareness, constantly shaped yet fundamentally whole. You are the pattern, not just the water. This knowledge liberates you. It means you are not trapped by your past, you are the ongoing expression of a living, evolving consciousness, capable of profound change while remaining deeply rooted in your core essence. This understanding naturally challenges the relentless drive for control that often governs our lives and even our attempts to shape the world. Consider the vast field of artificial intelligence. We build machines that follow intricate, predetermined paths, executing algorithms with incredible precision. But true consciousness, your consciousness, doesn't work like that. It thrives on the unexpected, the novel, the leap into the unknown. If consciousness involves quantum processes, then genuine awareness requires space for emergence, for possibilities to explore themselves before settling. Creating conscious machines might not be about programming every detail, but about designing systems that can self-organize, allowing quantum coherence to foster genuine creativity, surprise, and even self-discovery. This is deeply uncomfortable for those who seek absolute control, because it means releasing the blueprint, trusting the process. It mirrors your own journey. Your deepest wisdom, your most innovative solutions, often arise not from rigid planning, but from moments of quiet openness, when you step back and let the quantum field within you do its work. True intelligence, whether in a machine or in your own mind, may require the courage to let go of control, to create fertile ground and then witness what wants to emerge. It's about stewardship, not domination. This isn't just abstract theory, it's a practical invitation to how you live your life today. When you feel the old urge to force an outcome, to micromanage a relationship, to rigidly control your career path, to suppress emotions that feel messy, pause. Feel the tension in your body, the tightness in your chest. That's the old story of control fighting the current. Now, gently shift. Instead of asking, how do I make this happen? Ask, what conditions can I create for something beautiful to emerge? How can you nurture the soil of your relationships? How can you cultivate inner space for intuition to arise? How can you trust the unfolding process of your own growth, even when the path isn't clear? It's a daily practice of humble confidence. You show up, you tend the garden, you release the outcome, and in that release, you connect with a source of power far greater than your individual will, a power that flows through you, connecting you to the very pulse of creation. You begin to see the mistakes not as failures, but as necessary explorations in the field of possibility, essential steps in the dance of emergence. Uncertainty becomes not a void to fear, but fertile ground to step into. This shift transforms how you approach healing, learning, and growth. Forcing change often meets resistance, but creating conditions where healing can emerge, that's transformative. Imagine approaching a deep emotional wound, not by trying to rip it open and fix it through sheer will, but by creating a safe, compassionate inner space, allowing the quantum field of your awareness to process the pain, integrate the lessons, and naturally restore coherence. Healing becomes less about combat and more about cultivation. Learning shifts from rote memorization to creating an environment of curiosity and openness, where insights can bubble up from the depths of your own intelligence. Wisdom isn't forced, it emerges from the quiet space where you allow understanding to crystallize. You stop trying to be the change and start allowing the change to move through you. It's the difference between pushing a river and becoming the current. As you walk this path, you'll notice a profound change in your relationship with time. The frantic need to rush toward the future, to control what's next, begins to dissolve, because you understand that the quantum field only operates in the now, the moment where possibilities are held and choices gently crystallize. The past is a story, the future is potential. Your true power, your true connection to the creative field, is here. This presence isn't passive, it's the most potent form of engagement. It's where you align with the quantum tide of creation, feeling its rhythm in your breath, in your heartbeat. You breathe in the infinite potential of this moment, you breathe out the surrender to its unfolding. With each breath, you reaffirm, I am here. I am part of this. I trust the process. This journey isn't about becoming something new, it's about remembering who you've always been, a luminous expression of the quantum field itself. You are not separate from the mystery, you are its living, breathing manifestation. The implications are vast, yet they all lead back to this single, powerful truth: your influence is deepest when it's least forceful. Your power is most profound when it's rooted in presence, not control. The world doesn't need you to fix it, it needs you to be fully, authentically, openly present within it. To let your unique frequency resonate without apology. To create the conditions for love, understanding, and creativity to emerge in your life and in the lives you touch. You are a co-creator, not a controller. A gardener, not a sculptor. Feel the weight of that control you've carried for so long. Feel it lifting, not because you're giving up, but because you're stepping into a wiser, more powerful way of being. The burden of having to know, to force, to manage it all, set it down. Breathe, feel the space that opens within you. In that space, there is trust. There is connection. There is the hum of the quantum field, vast and intelligent, holding you, supporting you, guiding you. You are not alone in this unfolding. You are part of a magnificent, interconnected whole. Your choices matter, not because you dictate the outcome, but because you influence the field. Your presence matters, not because you are perfect, but because you are uniquely, irreplaceably you. Let this understanding settle into your bones. Let it inform how you move through your day. When frustration rises, remember you are creating conditions, not commanding results. When uncertainty whispers, remember it's the space where magic is born. When connection feels deep, remember you are touching the quantum web of awareness itself. You are never just one person in the world, you are one expression of the world's own awareness, learning to see itself, to love itself, to create itself through you. This is your power. Not the rigid power of control, but the flowing power of presence. Not the brittle power of certainty, but the resilient power of trust. You carry the quantum spark within you, a spark that is part of the same fire that ignites stars. Tend it, nurture it, trust its light. The path ahead isn't about controlling the light, it's about becoming luminous enough to see the path as it reveals itself. Walk forward, not with a map, but with an open heart. Breathe. Feel the power surging through you, not from your will, but from the vast, intelligent field you are part of. Own it, share it. The world is waiting for the unique frequency of your being, vibrating freely, no longer forced, but fully, beautifully, surrendered to the rhythm of creation. You are ready. You always have been. Now step into the light you carry. The universe isn't just whispering, it's singing your name. Listen, feel it move. The next breath is yours. Take it, let it carry you into the brilliant, interconnected reality you help create. Now, go. The journey we've been walking together has been about uncovering the quiet, steady power that lives within you, not as something you grasp, but as something you allow yourself to become. We've spoken of presence, trust, and the luminous spark that connects you to the very pulse of creation. Now, as we move deeper, I want you to feel how these ideas aren't just abstract theories. They're living truths about who you are and how you move through the world. You've felt moments where your sense of self shifted, perhaps after a loss, a joy, or a quiet dawn where you realized you weren't quite the person you were yesterday. That's not an accident. It's a glimpse into the fluid, ever-evolving nature of your identity, a dance far more delicate and profound than we've been taught to believe. For too long, we've clung to the idea that you are fixed, carved in stone by memory, by the body you inhabit, by the story you tell yourself. But what if your true self is more like a river? Always flowing, always changing, yet carrying the same essential current. This isn't about losing yourself, it's about finally finding the freedom that comes when you stop trying to hold the water in your hands and instead learn to flow with it. Think about your earliest memory. Not the facts, but the feeling. Does it feel like a crisp video playing in your mind? Or is it softer, warmer, woven together with emotion and meaning that shifts each time you return to it? That's not a flaw in your mind, it's a sign of life. Your memories aren't stored like files on a hard drive. They're living patterns, reshaped by who you are right now as you recall them. This isn't confusion, it's creation. Every time you revisit a moment, you're not just remembering, you're reimagining, integrating it into the ever-unfolding story of who you are becoming. This is where your power lies. The past isn't a cage, it's raw material, and you hold the sacred right to shape it with the wisdom you've gained since then. When pain or regret surfaces, don't just carry it as a weight. Feel it, yes, but then ask, how can this memory serve my growth now? Let it transform in the light of your present strength. This isn't about denying what happened, it's about refusing to let it define the boundaries of your future. You are not a prisoner of your history, you are the artist of your becoming. And what about the body you live in? You've likely heard that every atom in you is replaced over time. The cells of your skin, your bones, even your brain renewed, recycled, reborn. Yet you wake each morning as the same you. How is that possible? Because you are not your atoms. You are the pattern, the vibrant, resilient song that continues even as the notes change. This song is woven from something deeper than matter. It's carried in the silent spaces between your thoughts, in the hum of possibility that lives beneath the surface of your awareness. Your sense of self isn't tied to the physical vessel, it's sustained by the quantum rhythms that flow through you, connecting you to something vast and ancient. This means you are never truly stuck. No matter how heavy the past feels, no matter how solid the walls seem, the truth is you are constantly being renewed. The same force that rebuilds your body rebuilds your spirit. You are always on the edge of becoming someone new. So why cling so tightly to old versions of yourself? Let go of the stories that say you're unchanging. Breathe into the knowledge that you are a living miracle of renewal. This very moment is your chance to step into the person you're meant to be. I know this can feel unsettling. We crave certainty. We want to know, if I'm not my memories, my body, my past choices, then who am I? But here's the beautiful truth: you are more than any single answer. You are the quiet hum of awareness that watches your thoughts come and go. You are the space where love, grief, joy, and courage all find room to breathe. In different moments, different parts of you step forward: the fierce protector, the gentle healer, the curious dreamer. That isn't inconsistency, it's wholeness. You don't need to be one fixed thing to be real. You are a constellation of light, shifting with the seasons of your soul. When you feel pulled in different directions, don't fight it. Thank your many selves for showing up. The mother, the leader, the artist, the seeker, they are all true. They are all you. Stop trying to choose which one is real. Embrace the truth you contain multitudes. And in that vastness, you hold the power to meet any moment with exactly what it needs. This understanding changes everything about how you grow. We've been taught that change is slow, painful, and requires relentless effort like chiseling stone. But what if growth isn't about forcing yourself into a new shape? What if it's about creating space for the new shape already waiting inside you to emerge? Your consciousness isn't confined to the limits of your brain. It's a doorway to a sea of information, possibility, and wisdom. When you feel ready to transform, you aren't building something from nothing. You're tuning into the frequencies that have always been there, waiting for you to listen. Think of those moments when you've felt a sudden shift, a decision made with unexpected clarity, a wound that suddenly felt lighter, a path that opened without you forcing it. That wasn't luck. It was you aligning with the deeper currents of your being. You didn't make it happen. You allowed it to happen. The next time you're facing a change that feels impossible, pause. Close your eyes. Breathe. Stop trying to push the river. Instead, ask, what is my consciousness ready to receive right now? Then open yourself to the answer. It might come as a feeling, a word, a quiet certainty. Don't ignore it. That's your inner knowing speaking the quantum rhythm of your soul. This perspective also brings profound tenderness to how we hold ourselves and others. When someone seems broken or stuck, we often judge them for not changing fast enough. But what if their struggle isn't resistance? What if it's a sacred process of reorganizing? Every time you've felt fragmented, grieving oneself, while trying to become another, you are living proof that identity isn't a rigid thing. It's a dynamic flow. So when you see others in their pain, remember their journey isn't a failure, it's a metamorphosis. And when you stumble, treat yourself with the same grace. You aren't failing to be whole. You are whole, even in the breaking. The cracks aren't where you're falling apart, they're where the light gets in. Let that truth soften your edges. Let it remind you that you are never too much, never too little, never too broken to be loved, especially by yourself. This isn't just about understanding your mind. It's about reclaiming your power. For too long, we've been told our consciousness is a byproduct of our brains, a flickering candle in the dark. But what if it's the other way around? What if your brain is merely the instrument through which consciousness expresses itself? What if you are not having awareness, you are awareness, shaped by this body, this life, this moment? That means the wisdom you seek isn't out there. It's within you, humming at the quantum level. The answers to your deepest questions are already in your bones, in the quiet between your heartbeats. You don't need permission to know. You don't need a guru to tell you who you are. You simply need to listen to the hum within. The next time doubt whispers, "Who do you think you are?" Answer with the truth, "I am consciousness itself," learning to love itself through this form. Feel the strength in that. It's not arrogance, it's remembrance. And what of the fear that whispers, "What if I'm not enough? What if you dissolve and nothing remains?" Let's sit with that fear, not to avoid it, but to transform it. Yes, the physical world has endings, bodies fade. But the essence of who you are, the pattern, the song, the quantum spark transcends the moment. You are part of a rhythm that has no beginning and no end. When you touch the deep stillness inside you, you touch eternity. This isn't about denying death, it's about realizing that your true self cannot be undone. The love you've given, the light you've carried, the courage you've shown, they ripple through the universe long after your body returns to the earth. So live not from fear of ending, but from the certainty of your eternal nature. Every act of kindness, every moment of presence, every time you choose love over fear, you're weaving your light into the fabric of all that is. And that fabric never unravels. This is why your growth matters. It's not just for you. When you expand your own capacity for love, for courage, for peace, you send ripples through the quantum field we all share. You become a beacon for others, not by shouting, but by simply being the change. Your journey of healing isn't selfish, it's sacred service. Every time you soften your own heart, You make space for the world to breathe easier. Every time you forgive yourself, you teach the universe how to forgive. This is the quiet revolution, healing yourself to heal the whole. You don't have to save the world with grand gestures. Just be the person who shows up whole, open, and unafraid to be real. That is enough. That is everything. So where does this leave you? Right here, right now. Not with a map, but with a compass. Not with a list of things to fix, but with the certainty that you are already whole. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a miracle unfolding. Let that truth settle into your bones. Feel the weight of it, the lightness of it. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not even your current story. You are the silent witness, the loving creator, the quantum spark that has always been here, waiting for you to say yes to your own magnificence. The universe didn't make a mistake when it made you. It made a masterpiece. And it's still creating through you. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready now. With this breath. Feel it. That's the pulse of creation moving through you. It's not asking for perfection. It's asking for presence. It's asking you to stop waiting for the right time and start living from the right place. This heart, this miraculous now. You have everything you need. The strength, the wisdom, the love, it's all within you, humming at the quantum level, waiting for you to turn your attention inward. So close your eyes for just a moment. Breathe. Feel the power that has carried you this far. It's not going anywhere. It's you. And it's ready. Step into the light you carry. Not as someone who has arrived, but as someone who is already home. Let your presence be your offering. Let your authenticity be your revolution. The world doesn't need another perfect soul. It needs your all real and radiating with the quiet confidence of one who knows she is part of something vast. You are ready. You always have been. Now, take that next breath. Let it fill you with the certainty that you are exactly where you need to be. And move. Not with force, but with flow. Not with fear, but with faith. The universe isn't just singing your name, it's dancing through you. Feel it, trust it, become it. This is your life, your moment, your turn to shine. Go. If personal identity depends partly on quantum information patterns that exist beyond classical neural boundaries, then the relationship between consciousness and physical death might be more complex than simple cessation. This doesn't necessarily support traditional religious concepts of personal survival after death, but it does suggest that the quantum information associated with individual consciousness might persist in some form even after biological processes cease. Some interpretations propose that consciousness might be more like a pattern that can exist independently of its current physical substrate. Though this remains highly speculative and unproven, these possibilities require careful consideration of what we mean by personal survival and continuity. Even if quantum information patterns associated with individual consciousness persist after death, the question remains whether such persistence would constitute meaningful personal continuity or simply the preservation of abstract information structures. As you reflect on your own mortality and the mystery of what makes you uniquely you, notice how quantum consciousness theories neither provide easy answers nor dismiss profound questions. Instead, they reveal identity and consciousness to be far more subtle and mysterious than either pure materialism or traditional spirituality might suggest. The recognition that consciousness might operate through quantum processes that transcend classical boundaries doesn't eliminate the reality of death or the importance of individual life. Rather, it suggests that the relationship between personal identity and physical existence involves layers of complexity that we're only beginning to understand. This quantum perspective on identity also has practical implications for how we approach personal growth and self-standing. If identity emerges from dynamic interactions between quantum information fields and neural architecture, then the work of becoming who you're meant to be might involve learning to access and integrate quantum information patterns that support your deepest potentials, rather than viewing personal development as changing fixed personality traits through willpower or behavioral modification. The quantum view suggests that growth might work more through creating conditions that allow beneficial quantum information patterns to express themselves through your neural architecture. This could explain why the most profound personal transformations often feel more like discoveries of who you already are rather than creations of entirely new characteristics. The contemplative traditions that have explored consciousness for thousands of years consistently report that deep self-inquiry reveals identity to be more fluid and interconnected than ordinary experience suggests. These reports align remarkably well with quantum consciousness theories that propose individual awareness as localized expressions of more universal quantum processes. Practices like meditation, contemplative inquiry, or even certain forms of therapy might work partly by allowing consciousness to access quantum information patterns that aren't normally available to ordinary awareness. The insights and transformations that emerge from these practices might represent genuine discoveries about the quantum foundations of identity, rather than simply psychological reframes or belief changes. As you consider your own experiences of growth and self-discovery, you might recognize moments when new aspects of yourself seem to emerge from somewhere beyond your conscious control or understanding. These experiences of authentic transformation might correspond to your consciousness accessing quantum information patterns that were always potentially available, but not previously integrated into your active identity structure. The quantum understanding of identity also offers new perspectives on the relationship between individual consciousness and collective human experience. If personal identity emerges from interactions with universal quantum information fields, then your individual development might naturally contribute to the evolution of human consciousness as a whole. This doesn't mean that personal growth automatically benefits everyone, but it suggests that the quantum information patterns you develop through your own consciousness might become available to other minds that develop the capacity to access similar quantum fields. Your individual journey toward greater wisdom, compassion, and understanding might contribute to quantum information networks that support the development of these qualities in other conscious beings. Some interpretations of quantum consciousness propose that what we experience as individual genius, creativity, or wisdom might emerge from accessing quantum information networks that extend far beyond personal neural boundaries. The insights of great artists, scientists, and spiritual teachers might arise from their capacity to organize quantum information in ways that reveal universal patterns and possibilities. This perspective suggests that human potential might be far greater than individual neural capacity alone would allow. Your ability to access wisdom, creativity, and understanding might depend not just on your personal learning and development, but on your capacity to align with quantum information processes that carry the accumulated insights of human consciousness itself. Take a moment to reflect on experiences of insight or understanding that seem to arise from beyond your personal knowledge or reasoning. Many people report moments when solutions to complex problems seem to emerge spontaneously, when creative inspirations arrive fully formed, or when deep understanding arises without logical derivation. The quantum view suggests that these experiences might involve accessing quantum information networks that extend beyond individual neural processing. As we prepare to explore the ultimate implications of quantum consciousness for our understanding of reality itself, notice how these ideas about identity and personal development might be shifting your sense of who you are and what's possible for your own consciousness. The recognition that identity might emerge from quantum processes that transcend classical boundaries doesn't diminish the reality of your individual experience, but it reveals that experience to be far more mysterious and interconnected than you might have previously imagined. The journey into quantum consciousness reveals personal identity to be neither a fixed property of individual brains, nor an illusion to be transcended, but a dynamic process through which universal quantum information organizes itself into unique patterns of awareness. Your sense of being yourself emerges from this process, while remaining open to continuous transformation and expansion. This understanding transforms questions about personal development from problems of fixing or improving a static self into opportunities for discovering and expressing the quantum potentials that are always available through consciousness itself. Rather than trying to become someone different, you might focus on creating conditions that allow the deepest patterns of quantum information associated with your consciousness to express themselves more fully. The implications ripple through every aspect of human experience, from therapy and education to creativity and spiritual development. If identity emerges from quantum processes, then approaches that honor the subtle emergent nature of consciousness might be more effective than those that try to impose change through direct control or manipulation. As we continue exploring these quantum mysteries, we'll discover how these insights about identity and consciousness might revolutionize our understanding of healing, learning, and the development of human potential itself. But before we venture into those territories, you might find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about your own capacity to direct your life and shape your reality, leading us toward insights that are simultaneously liberating and unsettling. This exploration of how quantum processes might influence your sense of personal agency connects directly to the profound implications we've examined throughout our journey into quantum consciousness. As these ideas settle into your awareness, you might find yourself ready to explore even deeper questions about control, choice, and the quantum foundations of human agency. Which brings us naturally to our recommended exploration. New quantum consciousness theory says you're not in control. The boundaries between your personal consciousness and the larger quantum universe might be dissolving in ways that challenge our most fundamental assumptions about the nature of reality itself. As we continue our exploration of quantum consciousness, we encounter territories where the implications become so profound that they reshape our understanding not just of mind and matter, but of the very fabric of existence. Recent developments in quantum field theory have begun to reveal consciousness as potentially far more than an emergent property of individual brains. Some interpretations suggest that awareness might be woven into the quantum vacuum itself, that substrate of reality where virtual particles flicker in and out of existence in an eternal dance of creation and annihilation. This quantum vacuum, once thought to be empty space, now appears to be anything but empty. It sees with activity, with fluctuations that some researchers propose might carry information, patterns that could serve as the foundation for consciousness itself. If this interpretation proves correct, then your awareness might not be generated by your brain, but rather organized and focused by it, like light being concentrated through a lens. Picture this possibility for a moment. Instead of consciousness arising from neural networks, your brain might function more like a quantum antenna tuning into information fields that permeate all of space. Your thoughts, emotions, and experiences would emerge from the intersection between these universal fields and the specific biological architecture of your nervous system. This perspective finds surprising support in recent discoveries about the nature of information in quantum systems. Physicists have demonstrated that information appears to be more fundamental than matter or energy. That physical reality might actually emerge from underlying informational structures rather than information emerging from physical processes. The implications are staggering. If consciousness is fundamentally informational, and if quantum information fields permeate the universe, then awareness might be a basic feature of reality rather than a rare accident of biological evolution. Your individual consciousness would represent a unique pattern of organization within these universal information fields, distinct but not separate from the larger quantum substrate. Take a deep breath and consider how this might change your sense of connection to the cosmos. You're not just an isolated observer looking out at an external universe. You're a localized expression of the universe becoming aware of itself. A temporary concentration of cosmic consciousness exploring its own nature through the unique lens of your individual perspective. A temporary concentration of cosmic consciousness exploring its own nature through the unique lens of your individual perspective. Here's a transformed version of the content, aiming for a natural, motivational flow and approximately 1967 words, while adhering to all the given requirements. The echoes of profound discoveries, born from the intersection of seemingly disparate fields, are beginning to reshape our understanding of reality. It's not merely a philosophical shift, it's a potential unveiling of the very architecture of consciousness itself. Recent advancements in quantum information theory, particularly the demonstrable entanglement and coherence at scales previously thought impossible, have ignited a debate that transcends traditional scientific boundaries. Physicists are now suggesting that physical reality isn't simply emerging from underlying quantum processes, but rather that information, pure, fundamental information, is the bedrock upon which the universe is constructed. This isn't a passive observation, it's a startling proposition that invites us to reconsider our place within the grand scheme of existence. If consciousness, in its most fundamental form, is informational, and if quantum information fields permeate the entire universe, then awareness isn't a rare and accidental byproduct of biological evolution. Instead, it becomes a basic feature of reality, a fundamental organizing principle woven into the fabric of existence. Take a moment, truly, to breathe deeply and consider the implications of this perspective. You aren't simply an isolated observer, a detached consciousness looking out at an external, fixed universe. You are, in a very real sense, a localized expression of the universe becoming aware of itself. A fleeting, temporary concentration of cosmic consciousness, exploring its own nature, its infinite potential, through the unique lens of your individual experience. It's a humbling, yet profoundly empowering, realization. The breakthroughs aren't confined to theoretical physics. Cutting-edge research in quantum biology is revealing astonishing levels of sophistication within living systems. Scientists have observed that certain molecular networks, particularly those found within neural microtubules, structures previously considered purely passive, can exhibit collective quantum behaviors that far exceed the capabilities of individual components. These networks, like the tryptophan networks, appear to process information in ways that transcend the limitations of classical computational models. The remarkable discovery that these amino acid chains can maintain quantum coherence and even demonstrate superradiance, a phenomenon where they emit more energy than they absorb, has been a pivotal moment. It directly addresses a long-standing objection to quantum consciousness theories, the apparent impossibility of quantum effects persisting within the warm, noisy environment of a living cell. This doesn't mean we've definitively proven that consciousness is quantum, but it demonstrates that the universe is fundamentally capable of exploiting quantum phenomena in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. As you contemplate these findings, notice the subtle shift in your perspective. The boundaries between biological and quantum, between the individual and the universal, begin to dissolve, revealing a connection far more profound than classical science allowed. This isn't about reducing consciousness to mere neural firing, it's about recognizing that our experience is inextricably linked to a deeper, informational reality. The question then becomes, how does this quantum connection manifest itself in our lives? Consider the moments of sudden insight, of creative breakthroughs, when solutions to complex problems seem to arrive fully formed, or when artistic visions emerge without conscious derivation. These experiences, once dismissed as anomalies, might reflect a temporary access to quantum information networks that carry the accumulated wisdom of human experience itself. Think of the mathematical discoveries of ancient civilizations, the artistic visions of great creators, the spiritual insights of contemplative practitioners. Could these moments be glimpses into a deeper level of reality, where knowledge isn't solely the product of individual effort, but rather a resonance with information patterns that exist beyond the limits of our individual minds? The implications extend far beyond theoretical science. The development of human civilization itself, the astonishing pace of technological and intellectual advancement, could be interpreted as a species gradually enhancing its capacity to connect with these quantum information fields. Some researchers now suggest that what we call collective human consciousness might actually involve quantum coherence networks spanning individual brains, facilitating the sharing of information and insights in ways that transcend conventional communication. This remains a highly speculative area, but it offers a compelling explanation for phenomena like déjà vu, collective intuition, or the apparent synchronicity of events. Perhaps more intriguingly, quantum biology offers new perspectives on the nature of mental health and psychological well-being. If consciousness is, in part, dependent on quantum coherence within neural systems, then disruptions in mental health might be understood as breakdowns in this informational processing rather than purely chemical or psychological dysfunction. This doesn't diminish the importance of traditional therapeutic approaches, but it suggests that a comprehensive understanding of mental well-being would need to address both classical and quantum aspects of neural function. Preliminary research has begun to explore whether practices that influence quantum coherence, such as meditation, focused breathing, or even certain psychedelic experiences, might offer new therapeutic avenues. However, it's crucial to approach this research with careful consideration. The capacity to access these quantum information networks may not be something that can be achieved through external technology alone. Instead, it might require the cultivation of specific mental qualities, states of heightened concentration, equanimity, and receptive awareness that create optimal conditions for quantum coherence to flourish. Contemplative traditions throughout history have long recognized the interconnectedness of consciousness and the importance of developing these mental qualities as a path to spiritual growth and self-realization. These practices, often focused on cultivating present-moment awareness and non-judgmental observation, can create a quiet space within the mind, a space free from the interference of habitual thought patterns that might be more conducive to quantum information processing. As you reflect on these possibilities, consider the implications for your own personal development. The quantum perspective on human nature doesn't simply offer a scientific explanation for consciousness, it offers a profound invitation to explore your own potential for wisdom, creativity, and understanding. It suggests that our individual journeys toward greater self-awareness and compassion might contribute to the evolution of consciousness itself, that our actions, however small, could have a ripple effect on the informational landscape of the universe. It's a perspective that simultaneously evokes a sense of profound responsibility and exhilarating possibility. The potential for expanded awareness, for truly understanding our place within the cosmos, is within reach, but only if we are willing to embrace the challenge of aligning ourselves with the fundamental informational architecture of reality. The future of human consciousness, guided by these insights, may very well be a synthesis between technological advancement and the timeless wisdom of contemplative practice. The quiet hum of possibility settles within you, doesn't it? As we've explored these intricate pathways of quantum information, a profound shift begins to occur, not a sudden, jarring alteration, but a gentle unfolding, like a flower slowly revealing its petals. It's a recognition that the very nature of our experience, the lens through which we perceive reality, might be far more fluid and interconnected than we've ever conceived. These concepts, quantum consciousness, universal information networks, the potential for our individual journeys to contribute to the evolution of consciousness itself, they aren't simply abstract scientific theories. They're invitations to a deeper exploration of who we are and our place within the vastness of existence. Let's revisit the core idea that consciousness isn't merely a byproduct of complex neural activity, but something that might operate at a fundamental level, interwoven with the fabric of reality itself. Think of it like this: for centuries, we've largely viewed the mind as a sophisticated computer, processing information generated by the body. Quantum consciousness suggests a radically different model. It proposes that our brains, and perhaps all of life, are not just using quantum mechanics, but are participating in it, acting as sophisticated quantum computers, constantly interacting with and accessing information networks that extend far beyond our individual awareness. It's as though our thoughts aren't just happening in our brains, they're emerging from a complex interplay between those brains and these vast, interconnected networks. The evidence supporting this isn't just theoretical. Recent breakthroughs in quantum biology are painting an increasingly compelling picture. We've long known that photosynthesis is unbelievably efficient, far exceeding what classical physics would allow. Now, we're discovering that this efficiency is underpinned by quantum coherence, the ability of electrons to exist in multiple states simultaneously, a phenomenon that allows them to capture maximum energy from sunlight. Similarly, the navigation abilities of migratory animals, birds, whales, even insects, are increasingly understood to rely on quantum sensors, using the Earth's magnetic field with astonishing precision. and within our own brains. Experiments have revealed quantum coherence in neural microtubules, the tiny structures within neurons that are believed to be crucial for information processing. These aren't anomalies, they're demonstrations that life has been harnessing quantum effects for millions of years, blurring the lines between the microscopic and the macroscopic. Your brain might already be operating as a quantum computer, far more advanced than anything we've engineered, constantly processing information through mechanisms invisible to our everyday awareness. Consider the unity of conscious experience. Despite the distributed nature of brain activity, the fact that your visual cortex, your auditory cortex, your motor cortex are all distinct and specialized, we experience a single, unified stream of awareness. How is this possible? The quantum perspective suggests that this unity might be facilitated by quantum information processing, allowing different parts of the brain to seamlessly integrate information and create a cohesive experience. It also sheds light on other seemingly mysterious aspects of mental life: the capacity for creative insights that transcend logical reasoning, the ability to effortlessly grasp complex concepts, the feeling of intuitive understanding. These aren't simply products of neural networks firing in a predetermined way. They might be reflections of quantum processes that access and process information in ways we don't yet fully understand. This brings us to a profoundly intriguing area: mental health and psychological well-being. From a quantum consciousness perspective, disruptions in mental health might not just be chemical or psychological dysfunction, but breakdowns in quantum information processing. Imagine a disruption in the coherence of neural systems, a kind of quantum noise that interferes with the smooth flow of information. This could explain why antidepressants often take weeks or months to work. They're essentially attempting to restore coherence to disrupted neural networks. It's a shift in thinking, recognizing that healing may involve more than just addressing symptoms. It may require creating conditions that allow quantum coherence to flourish. And it's not just about restoring balance, it's about actively engaging with these underlying processes. Preliminary research is beginning to explore whether practices that influence quantum coherence, techniques like meditation, focused breathing, and even certain types of sound therapy might offer new therapeutic approaches. It's crucial to emphasize that this research is still highly speculative and unproven, but the very idea that we can directly influence our mental state by manipulating quantum processes is profoundly exciting. But the implications extend far beyond individual mental health. The quantum understanding of consciousness also offers a radical new perspective on the relationship between individual healing and collective well-being. If consciousness operates through quantum networks that extend beyond individual brains, then your personal journey toward greater mental health and psychological integration might contribute to quantum information fields that support healing in other conscious beings. It's a concept that finds resonance in ancient contemplative traditions, practices like yoga, tai chi, and mindfulness, which have long recognized the interconnected nature of consciousness and the way individual development contributes to collective wisdom. Let's pause here and reflect. It's a remarkable proposition that our individual actions, our thoughts, our emotions, even our seemingly smallest choices, could have a ripple effect on the informational landscape of the universe. This isn't about attributing mystical powers to individuals, it's about recognizing that we are all part of a vast, interconnected system of consciousness. Now, let's confront a key question: the relationship between free will and determinism. Quantum mechanics introduces an element of randomness into the universe at the subatomic level. This randomness, combined with the interactive nature of quantum networks, raises profound questions about the nature of choice. It suggests that our decisions might not be entirely determined by our past experiences or genetic predispositions. Instead, they might emerge from quantum processes that explore multiple possibilities simultaneously before collapsing into specific actions. It's a perspective that challenges the traditional notion of free will as absolute control, suggesting instead a kind of quantum agency, the ability to influence the unfolding of reality through conscious choice. This isn't about relinquishing responsibility for our actions, but about recognizing that our choices carry a deeper significance than we might have previously imagined. It's as if our consciousness, through its interaction with the quantum fabric of reality, is actively shaping the course of events. As you continue to explore these ideas, you might find yourself grappling with fundamental questions about the nature of reality itself. What is consciousness? Where does it come from? What is our place in the universe? These aren't questions that can be answered with simple scientific formulas or philosophical arguments. They require a profound shift in perspective, a willingness to embrace the mystery and uncertainty of existence. But perhaps the most profound implication of quantum consciousness is the realization that we are not isolated observers trying to make sense of an external universe. Instead, we might be expressions of the universe's own capacity for self-awareness, temporary concentrations of cosmic consciousness exploring its own infinite potential through the lens of individual experience. It's a perspective that transforms our sense of identity and purpose, suggesting that our lives are inextricably linked to the grand narrative of the cosmos. The recognition that awareness might be woven into the fabric of reality itself doesn't diminish the wonder and beauty of existence. It reveals it to be far grander and more profound than we could have ever imagined. Consider this: your thoughts, experiences, and journey of understanding contribute irreplaceable information to this cosmic process of self-discovery, to the universe coming to know itself through countless perspectives of conscious beings throughout the cosmos. Allow yourself to feel the implications of this. This isn't about simply understanding a scientific theory, it's about aligning yourself with a deeper truth, a truth that resonates with the very essence of your being. As you move forward, embrace the uncertainty, the mystery, and the boundless potential that lies within you. Take a deep breath. The quantum universe is unfolding around you, inviting you to participate in its magnificent dance. You're not just observing. You're part of the story. The hum within you, the very essence of your experience, might be far more profound than you've ever imagined. It's a perspective that gently shifts the foundations of how we understand not just ourselves, but the universe itself, a reality intricately woven with self-awareness, manifesting momentarily as concentrations of cosmic consciousness, exploring its infinite potential through the lens of individual experience. It's a recognition that our lives aren't simply happening to us, they're inextricably linked to the grand narrative of the cosmos, a vibrant and ongoing process of discovery. Consider this deeply: your thoughts, your feelings, your entire journey of understanding. These aren't just personal phenomena, they contribute irreplaceable information to this cosmic process of self-discovery, to the universe coming to know itself through countless perspectives of conscious beings throughout the cosmos. Allow yourself to feel the weight of this realization, to let it settle within you. This isn't about simply absorbing a scientific theory, it's about aligning yourself with a deeper truth, a truth that resonates with the very essence of your being. As you move forward, embrace the uncertainty, the mystery, and the boundless potential that lies within you. Take a deep breath. The quantum universe is unfolding around you, inviting you to participate in its magnificent dance. You're not merely observing, you're part of the story. The fascinating possibility arises that your brain might already be operating as a quantum computer, significantly more sophisticated than anything human technology has yet achieved. This isn't about futuristic machines, it's about the inherent architecture of your own mind, the unity of your conscious experience, your capacity for creative insight, your ability to integrate vast amounts of information into coherent understanding. These remarkable feats might be underpinned by quantum information processing that operates below the threshold of ordinary awareness. Take a deep breath and truly consider what this means for your daily experience of being conscious. The thoughts arising in your mind right now, the emotions you feel, the sense of understanding that emerges as you contemplate these ideas, all of this might reflect quantum processes that connect your individual awareness to universal information networks spanning the cosmos. This perspective transforms questions about consciousness from purely scientific puzzles into deeply personal inquiries about the nature of your own existence. If your awareness emerges from quantum processes that transcend the classical boundaries of your physical brain, then who you are extends far beyond what you might have previously imagined. The implications ripple through every aspect of human experience. Mental health and psychological well-being might involve quantum coherence patterns, as much as neurotransmitter balance. Personal growth and development might work through accessing quantum information fields rather than simply changing behavioral patterns. The capacity for wisdom, creativity, and understanding might depend on your ability to align with quantum processes that naturally tend toward greater coherence and integration. Yet, perhaps the most profound implication involves the relationship between individual consciousness and cosmic awareness itself. If your personal thoughts and experiences emerge from interactions with universal quantum fields, then your individual journey of growth and understanding contributes to something far larger than personal development. Some interpretations suggest that consciousness might be the universe's way of knowing itself, that the evolution of awareness from quantum processes to human understanding represents reality becoming self-aware through countless individual perspectives. Your unique way of experiencing and understanding the world would contribute irreplaceable information to this cosmic process of self-discovery. As these ideas settle into your awareness, you might find yourself experiencing a subtle shift in how you relate to your own thoughts and experiences. Instead of being produced entirely by your individual brain, they might emerge from your participation in quantum information networks that extend throughout the universe. Your personal awareness would remain uniquely yours while being part of something infinitely larger. This understanding doesn't diminish individual responsibility or make personal choices meaningless. Rather, it reveals choice and responsibility to be more subtle and mysterious than classical determinism would suggest. Your decisions might emerge from quantum processes that explore multiple possibilities simultaneously before collapsing into specific actions, introducing genuine novelty into the universe through conscious choice. The recognition that consciousness might operate through quantum mechanisms also transforms our understanding of human potential itself. If awareness can indeed access quantum information fields, then your capacity for insight, creativity, and understanding might be limited not by individual neural capacity alone, but by your ability to align with information networks that carry the accumulated wisdom of consciousness itself. This perspective finds remarkable resonance with contemplative traditions that have explored consciousness for thousands of years. The states of expanded awareness, universal compassion, and direct knowing that mystics have reported might correspond to enhanced access to quantum information processing networks that extend far beyond individual brains. The convergence between ancient wisdom and quantum science suggests that human understanding of consciousness might be approaching a synthesis that bridges subjective experience and objective knowledge. This synthesis could revolutionize not just our scientific understanding of mind, but also our philosophical and spiritual relationship with existence itself. Recent experiments continue to provide evidence that quantum effects can persist in biological systems under conditions previously thought impossible. The discovery of superradiance in tryptophan networks, the demonstration of quantum coherence at body temperature, and the evidence that anesthetic effects depend on quantum properties. All of this makes it increasingly difficult to dismiss the possibility that consciousness has quantum foundations. Yet significant challenges remain. The warm, noisy environment of the brain continues to pose questions about how delicate quantum processes could maintain coherence long enough to influence conscious experience. The scale problem: how quantum effects in individual microtubules could produce unified conscious experience across entire brains, requires mechanisms we don't yet fully understand. These challenges don't invalidate quantum consciousness theories, but they remind us that we're still in the early stages of understanding how consciousness might emerge from quantum processes. The questions are as profound as they are difficult, requiring new experimental techniques, mathematical frameworks, and perhaps entirely new ways of thinking about the relationship between mind and matter. As you contemplate the current state of our understanding, notice how the mystery of consciousness remains beautifully intact, even as our knowledge deepens. The quantum perspective doesn't solve the hard problem of consciousness. It reveals that problem to be even more interesting and complex than we previously imagined. The journey into quantum consciousness ultimately returns us to the fundamental question we began with: what does it mean to be aware? The answer emerging from quantum theories is both humbling and inspiring. Consciousness appears to be neither a simple property of individual brains, nor a mysterious force operating outside physical reality, but a bridge between quantum possibility and classical actuality, between universal process and individual experience. Your awareness right now, as you reflect on these ideas and feel the subtle shifts in your understanding, participates in this bridge. You're not just thinking about consciousness, you're experiencing it, living it, being it in ways that might connect you to quantum processes operating at the deepest levels of reality itself. The implications extend far beyond academic understanding into practical questions about how we live, how we grow, and how we relate to each other and the cosmos. If consciousness indeed operates through quantum mechanisms, then approaches to education, therapy, personal development, and spiritual growth that honor the subtle, emergent nature of awareness might be more effective than those that try to impose change through classical control strategies. This quantum understanding also suggests new possibilities for technology and human enhancement. As quantum computers become more sophisticated, they might serve not just as powerful computational tools, but as platforms for investigating consciousness itself. The prospect of quantum-enhanced artificial intelligence, brain-computer interfaces that operate through quantum coherence, and technologies that support expanded human awareness all emerge as possibilities on the horizon. Yet, perhaps the most important implication involves the simple recognition that consciousness remains fundamentally mysterious. No matter how much we learn about quantum processes in microtubules, about quantum information networks, or about the role of quantum coherence in awareness, the fact that there's something it's like to be you remains as remarkable and inexplicable as ever. The quantum theory of consciousness doesn't diminish this mystery, it reveals it to be more beautiful and complex than we ever imagined. Your capacity for experience, understanding, and choice emerges from quantum processes that connect you to the fundamental information processing systems of the universe, while maintaining the unique perspective that makes you irreplaceably yourself. As we reach the end of this exploration, take a moment to notice your own awareness one more time. The thoughts you're having, the understanding you've developed, the questions that are forming, all of this might reflect quantum processes that bridge the gap between your individual mind and the cosmic context from which all consciousness might emerge. The journey into quantum consciousness reveals that the most intimate aspect of your existence, your own awareness, might also be the most universal, connecting you through quantum processes to the deepest foundations of reality itself. Whether or not these theories prove correct in their specific details, they remind us that consciousness remains one of the universe's most profound mysteries, worthy of our continued wonder, investigation, and respect. As we contemplate these quantum mysteries of mind, we've discovered that consciousness might be far more subtle and interconnected than classical science suggested. Yet, these insights about the quantum nature of awareness naturally lead to even more profound questions about agency, choice, and personal responsibility in a quantum universe. The recognition that your thoughts and decisions might emerge from quantum processes that transcend individual neural boundaries opens territory where our assumptions about free will and personal responsibility become beautifully complex. If consciousness indeed operates through quantum mechanisms that introduce genuine novelty into the universe, then your experience of making choices might be neither completely determined nor completely random, but something more mysterious, a participation in quantum processes that explore multiple possibilities before collapsing into specific decisions. This brings us naturally to examine how quantum consciousness theories might transform our understanding of personal agency itself, leading us toward the profound implications explored in new quantum consciousness theories. The core assertion is that you're not in control, at least not in the way we traditionally understand control. As consciousness potentially reaches toward quantum connections that transcend individual minds, we encounter one of the most revolutionary implications for human civilization itself, the possibility that awareness might operate through quantum networks spanning multiple brains. Picture for a moment the great leaps in human understanding that have occurred throughout history, the simultaneous development of calculus by Newton and Leibniz in different countries, the independent discovery of evolution by Darwin and Wallace, the concurrent insights into quantum mechanics that emerged from multiple researchers across Europe in the early 20th century. These parallel breakthroughs might reflect more than coincidence or shared cultural conditions. Some interpretations of quantum consciousness suggest that when human minds grapple with similar problems or explore related territories of understanding, quantum coherences might form between neural networks in different individuals. This remains highly speculative and unproven, but it offers an intriguing possibility for understanding how insights and discoveries seem to emerge simultaneously in minds that have no direct contact with each other. The implications extend beyond individual creativity to questions about the evolution of human knowledge itself. If consciousness can indeed access quantum information fields, then the development of human civilization might reflect not just the accumulation of knowledge through external transmission, but our species' gradually increasing capacity to connect with quantum information fields that carry the accumulated wisdom of consciousness. Take a breath and consider how this perspective might reframe your understanding of learning and discovery. When you encounter a new idea that resonates deeply, when you suddenly grasp a concept that had previously eluded you, when you feel that satisfying click of understanding, all of this might correspond to your consciousness, accessing quantum information patterns that exist within larger networks of human understanding. Recent developments in network science have revealed that complex systems, from ecosystems to economies to social networks, often exhibit emergent properties that transcend what individual components could achieve alone. The human brain itself demonstrates this principle, with consciousness emerging from the coordinated activity of billions of neurons that individually possess no awareness. Quantum consciousness theory suggests that this emergence might occur at even larger scales. Just as individual neurons contribute to personal awareness, individual minds might participate in forms of collective consciousness that operate through quantum coherence networks spanning multiple brains. This doesn't mean that you lose individual autonomy or that groupthink becomes inevitable. Rather, it suggests that human consciousness might naturally tend toward greater coherence and integration when conditions allow. The implications for understanding social movements, cultural shifts, and collective human behavior become particularly intriguing from a quantum perspective. The rapid spread of ideas, the way certain concepts suddenly become part of collective discourse, all of these phenomena might involve quantum coherence effects that operate below the threshold of ordinary awareness. Consider how social media and global communication networks have accelerated these processes in recent decades. As human minds become more connected through technology, we might also be creating conditions more conducive to quantum coherence between consciousness. The air hung thick with the scent of rain and aged paper as I settled into the worn armchair. A volume of ancient philosophy opened before me. It wasn't the words themselves that drew me in, though the ideas were undeniably compelling. It was the feeling, a subtle shift in perspective, a sense of connection to something far larger than my individual self. It had been a recurring sensation lately, this feeling of resonance, of somehow tuning into a deeper current. I'd been grappling with the theories surrounding quantum consciousness, and the more I explored them, the more convinced I became that the universe, and perhaps our own minds, operate on principles far stranger and more beautiful than we've ever imagined. The initial concepts that consciousness isn't simply a byproduct of complex biological processes, but could be fundamentally intertwined with the quantum realm, felt almost unbelievable at first. The idea that individual neurons, those seemingly insignificant units of the brain, might be participating in a larger network of interconnectedness, resonating with each other across vast distances through quantum coherence, was a radical departure from conventional neuroscience. It suggested that our thoughts, our emotions, our very sense of self could be influenced by events and experiences happening elsewhere in the world. instantaneously and without any apparent mechanism. I remembered the initial arguments, the painstaking research presented by physicists and neuroscientists alike. The experiments involving quantum entanglement, where two particles become linked in such a way that they share the same fate regardless of the distance separating them, provided a tantalizing hint that similar connections could be occurring within the human brain. It wasn't simply about information transfer, but about a deeper, more fundamental resonance, a subtle vibrational alignment between minds. The implications were staggering. If consciousness could indeed access quantum information networks, then the development of human civilization might not be solely a narrative of linear accumulation of knowledge, but rather a gradual process of our species increasing its capacity to connect with these quantum fields, tapping into a vast reservoir of accumulated wisdom and experience. It's easy to fall into a trap of disbelief, to dismiss such ideas as purely speculative, bordering on science fiction. The human mind, after all, is wired to seek explanations within the familiar, to build models of the world based on observable data and predictable laws. Quantum mechanics, with its inherent uncertainties and counterintuitive principles, challenged that very foundation. Yet, the more I explored the evidence of the parallel discoveries in different fields, the anomalous observations that defied conventional explanations, the more I realized that we were standing on the precipice of a paradigm shift. Perhaps the universe isn't governed by rigid, deterministic laws, but by a dynamic interplay of potentiality and interconnectedness, where consciousness plays a more active role than we've ever acknowledged. The concept of quantum coherence, the ability of quantum systems to maintain their phase relationship over time and space, resonated particularly deeply. It suggested that individual minds aren't isolated islands of awareness, but rather nodes within a larger, interconnected network, constantly exchanging information and influencing each other's states. This wasn't about telepathy in the traditional sense, but about a subtle, unconscious resonance that could shape our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. It was like tuning a radio, selecting a specific frequency to hear a particular signal. Similarly, our minds could be tuning into specific quantum information patterns that reflect the collective consciousness of humanity. I thought of the countless moments in history when seemingly unrelated events converged, leading to profound shifts in human culture and understanding. The simultaneous development of calculus by Newton and Leibniz, the independent discovery of evolution by Darwin and Wallace, the concurrent insights into quantum mechanics that emerged from multiple researchers across Europe in the early 20th century. These weren't just coincidences. They represented a collective blossoming of understanding, a moment when the human mind, through a combination of intuition, observation, and experimentation, began to unravel the deepest mysteries of the universe. Perhaps these breakthroughs weren't solely driven by individual brilliance, but by a subtle resonance within the human collective, a quantum coherence that amplified the potential for discovery. The idea that individual minds could participate in a larger, collective consciousness was both humbling and exhilarating. It challenged my ingrained sense of self, suggesting that I was not simply a solitary observer of the universe, but an integral part of a vast, interconnected network of awareness. This wasn't about losing my individuality, but about recognizing the profound interconnectedness of all things. It was akin to a single drop of water contributing to the vastness of the ocean, distinct in its own right, yet inseparable from the whole. Recent research in social psychology has begun to explore how individual mental states can influence group dynamics and collective behavior. Studies suggest that the presence of individuals who maintain calm, centered awareness can help groups navigate conflict more effectively and make wiser decisions. While this doesn't prove quantum effects in group consciousness, it aligns with what we might expect if consciousness can indeed influence quantum coherence patterns across multiple minds. This provided a framework for understanding social movements, cultural shifts, and collective human behavior. It struck me that our increasingly interconnected world, fueled by rapid communication technologies, might be accelerating this process of collective consciousness. The proliferation of social media, while often criticized for its superficiality and divisiveness, could also be creating conditions more conducive to quantum coherence between minds. The sheer volume of information exchanged, the constant flow of ideas and perspectives, could be amplifying the subtle resonances that connect us all. Furthermore, I realized that the concept of quantum consciousness wasn't simply a theoretical construct. It offered a potential explanation for certain phenomena that have long puzzled scientists and philosophers. The placebo effect, for example, where a person's belief in a treatment can trigger a measurable physiological response, could be interpreted as evidence of quantum coherence between the mind and body. Similarly, the phenomenon of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that defy explanation, could be understood as the manifestation of quantum correlations within the universe. I paused, considering the profound implications of this perspective. It wasn't about controlling the universe or about imposing our will upon it. Instead, it suggested that we were participants in a larger, dynamic process of creation, a dance of information and energy that transcends our individual limitations. It was a humbling reminder of our place within the cosmos, and a call to cultivate qualities of awareness, compassion, and understanding, qualities that could, in turn, contribute to the evolution of collective consciousness. The exploration of quantum consciousness ultimately returns us to fundamental questions about what it means to be human in the 21st century. As technology continues to advance and global challenges become more complex, our survival and flourishing might depend not just on external innovations, but on our capacity to access the quantum foundations of consciousness itself. The boundary between personal development and service to others becomes beautifully blurred when viewed through quantum lenses. It's a perspective that shifts our responsibility from seeking solutions within our individual actions to cultivating the conditions that allow for those solutions to emerge. The recognition that consciousness might operate through quantum mechanisms also transforms our understanding of what it means to be human in the 21st century. I considered the potential implications, not with a sense of certainty, but with a profound sense of wonder. It was an invitation to embrace the mystery of existence, to recognize the interconnectedness of all things, and to live a life guided by awareness, compassion, and a deep respect for the intelligence that permeates the universe. Perhaps, as we continue to unravel the mysteries of consciousness, we will discover that the greatest discoveries aren't made through observation alone, but through a willingness to participate in the dance of creation itself.